I'm at Grace Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address, and now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle. Just fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah.
You have your doors locked?
It's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay, and we're live. Hey, guys. Oh, so I just went blurry. Sorry about that thumbnail. Totally. I went blurry. Hold on a sec. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll come out of blurry being in a second. Anyways, yeah, I totally. Adam said let's do it early. Then I realized that True Crime Web was usually on Tuesday, so I went to go look. Totally forgot about that time of the thumbnail, so I changed it to 9, and then I changed it back to 9:30 our regular time on there. 1 second, my stupid camera. Hey, Loris. Oh, and then my avatar. How I love your background.
Thank you.
Yeah, I should make a Christmas one, I suppose, too.
Yeah.
How come my avatar didn't just change there?
It was either the Christmas lights or Greeno Cell. I chose the lights.
Yeah. So don't you just love it though? So Adam tells everyone we're gonna be that made the thumbnail, whatever, and then he's not even on time for his own live.
I really thought that he was just going to make an appearance right before the timer ended, but my guess was wrong.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't even know how many notifications went out for this one because I originally already had 3 videos up because I had to take one back down because it was remember it was the venue change and it was the gag order thing, and the way it kind of came worded was almost like that the gag order was there. But they were changing the venue because a lot of us thought that actually, and then who dis is like.
When I read it the first time, it just didn't come over right. It seemed like it just wasn't properly structured. So I read it like 2 times in a row, and I'm like, that's they're setting both of them for the 13th is what it is. But yeah. It was just it's written in a weird way. It didn't.
It is.
Grammatically was fine, but structurally the sentence didn't make it just didn't come off right. But
yeah,
so I can see people misunderstanding it.
Yeah, I mean, this was it right here. Court orders the state motion for ordering, prohibiting the parties, counsel, law enforcement officials, court personnel, coroner, and family members from disseminating information or releasing. And so when you first read that, you just are reading it like it's okay. So the court is ordering that's happening, but the court order states motion for order. So anyways, so who dis she was sending out her little meme like with her shoulders going, who's right, so anyways, I ended up taking that one down, and then next thing you know that the defense press release, it come out, so then I just added that one into it as well. But anyways, let's take a moment, I guess, to say hi to people that are in house right now, and when Turtle or Adam gets here, he'll get here. I know he'll find his way. Did he message me back yet? Oh, I think it was he has a bleep, bleep, bleep. I just saw the time be right there. Oh, okay.
After he gives you the riot act, he then forgets.
Oh, well, it's not like this is a regular scheduled live anyway. No. There he is. But there's our boy.
It's fun to give him a hard time.
Hey. Yeah. I'm too busy laughing that you're telling people that going to be late, seeing a half an hour count rate, and yet you can't even be on time for live.
Oh, and let alone I have no I have no good reason. I'm just sitting there on Messenger, like do talking away, and then I see Sunny go Adam, and I'm like, what? So I apologize, everyone.
You know what? It is what it is. I was too busy laughing about that, actually. But so let's just quickly say hi to Misha. Hi Ozzy. Hi See-Through. Hi Sharon Parker. Let's see here. Jill Moser's in the house. Kyle Davis. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, if you guys could give this a like and a thumbs up, if you could. In all fairness, the algorithm, to be honest with you, ever since they put that false strike on, the algorithm has absolutely dropped. I can see it in the views. I can see, it in everything. So it really bites, because before the algorithm was working just fine, and now I can tell the views just aren't the same as what they were, even though they took back off that strike because it was a false strike. Remember, guys, back on Halloween?
Yep. It feels like a million years ago almost.
Yeah. And so so the algorithm, even though they say that no, the count's fine and stuff like that, so a person can tell, right? You guys can always tell. All you have to do is look at your numbers and you can tell. So when they're sitting there saying that it's perfect and you're just like, no, I can tell. And they're basically saying, well, I'm the one that works here, so I would know. And I'm like, well, I would know about my numbers. I love it when they do that, as if somehow, like we're stupid or something like that. But anyways, Grandma watches. Hey, Grandma watches. Carol. I think I said True Crime Housewife already. Miss Dog Lover. Hey, Miss Dog Lover. Tommy Baker in the house. Plum Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It makes fun to have a plum when I see that. Hey, Lewis. Joan. Lewis, do you have Christmas tree? Yeah, does he has a nice Christmas tree background behind him? It's really nice, isn't it? I know, it's cool.
I love that.
Whoops, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see here. Anyway, so hey Adam, hey Lewis, how are you both?
Doing well.
Yeah.
Doing well.
December 1st.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's why I put the lights up, because it's after the 1st. So
yeah.
All those people that decorate before the 1st, naughty.
Oh, is that naughty?
What do you mean naughty? Normally, if I had my way, it's always in November. But, it's only because of being on here. Although I'm Canadian and we celebrate Thanksgiving, it's almost like I almost feel like I can't do it until after you guys have had your Thanksgiving,
Sonny, do you celebrate Christmas in your homeland?
No, do not. Not at all. Yeah. I love Christmas. I love the lights. I just I like the prettiness of Christmas. I could live with it all year round. I'm not gonna lie. I could live in a little Christmas village all year round and be perfectly happy in that little setting. I'm pretty sure there's some others out there that are with me on that. I don't know that I would honestly get sick of it, because I think it. When I was in England, where was Shakespeare born again? I always get it wrong. He was born. I always want to say Coventry, but shoot. Where was Shakespeare born? Where was he?
Stratford.
Stratford. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you. I just found it as you said.
Yeah, I just knew that.
I don't know why. I always forget. For some reason, Coventry always sticks in my head. But Stratford. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you've never been to England, you guys want to feel like you're in a gingerbread house, you just go to Stratford. It is just, we went to this bar for lunch, this little inn thing where it was burnt down in I don't know, I can't remember the year anymore. It was 16 something. And anyways, it's the cutest. It is just like a Christmas village. It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Right, Miss Dog Lover? Yeah. Even lost my wrench and membership to channel. Oh, Sharon, you still having issues there? And there, Stratford on Yvonne, yeah. Yeah, you still having your issues there, Sharon?
I know. I will say that's one thing Europe has that America, and I would say even Canada, does, like the Christmas markets and just that the way Christmas feels when you're in like Northwest Europe is incredible. Like I went to like probably the best Christmas market I've ever been to was probably in Ireland.
Yeah.
And it did. You just felt like, I mean, you wanted like hot wine, like mulled wine, and to walk around and like see the Christmas lights, and
yeah,
you couldn't help but be happy.
Yeah,
of course, that could have been the wine.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got? Okay, all right. I'm still trying to get my thigh. Okay, this was me, Adam. Right? I said I was going for a little nap before the live. Set my alarm for 6:10. I hit it to 6:20. 4 minutes to get ready. Can you tell? Don't care. And yeah, and I'm here.
Hey, you were on time.
4 minutes. 4 minutes, people. Throw the hair up. Sit down. There I go.
not that I have an excuse, but I was technically working.
Oh, okay. Yeah, working on Messenger. Are you working for Messenger?
I was working.
Yeah. Hi, Ivy. How are you? Oh, okay. That was your avatar on Mel's then.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so because she always has like a little birdie. That's such a cute little avatar, Ivy. It's just so cute. Yeah.
I know. As soon as I heard her voice, I was like, I know that voice.
Yeah. Oh, there's beautiful Alexa. Hey, Alexa. How are you doing?
Hey, Alexa.
Yeah.
We're sending love to you, of course.
Well, I'm sending you more than Adam. Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit
more.
You
guys want the best Christmas? She says visit Vienna.
Okay. When are we going, Alexa?
Yeah, when are you booking us? QWERTY, QWERTY's in that. QWERTY, where are you? QWERTY dude, where is he? No, guess we're gonna just have to stick to our own lives. Okay. All right, so kind of we just talked about vaguely about this, the order, so whatever, July 13th and any of you guys got anything to say about it? So January 13th of 2023, they talk about the motion for venues. I think Deb said, and I remember seeing it the other day, that there was a couple other places, but I think Deb said something about Evansville. They're kind of looking to have it in. And was
it Terre Haute, one of the ones they were saying?
Yeah, I think is that outside of where that circle that they were showing?
I thought Terre Haute was where they originally kind of alluded to with it out. It was like 150 miles away. Was it 150 miles? That was days ago.
Yeah.
You can remember.
Well, Lewis, what were you saying about something about the county and if they change?
Well, I heard that the judge made a statement that once she decides what they're going to do, if they do change venue, they could keep it there and then ship in jurors, or they could take it to a different county completely and actually move the court proceeding to that county, but also file it in that county, which would remove it from Carroll County. So I don't think she's decided on what she wants to do yet.
Right. Well, I know she has publicly been quoted as saying she has no intentions of moving it out of Delphi. That was before the change of venue motion was requested, but she is on the record for saying that she wants it in Delphi and has no plans of moving it out of Carroll County.
Yeah, the statement that I heard, she said, was if they were to do something, they could just bring different jurors in and not have to take a local juror pool. So
right,
the option's open there to fix anything that comes up on the defense or the prosecution.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize there are so many moving parts in when you move a trial and you move a trial to a different county. The state incurs all of that cost, and it's incredibly expensive because they then have hold the burden for paying for accommodations, everything that's required with moving a case 150 miles away. So I'm pretty confident that she's going to hold, and from what I've been told, I'm pretty confident she's going to rule that this stays in Carroll County.
Yeah.
But that could change.
But even if they rule that, if they sequester a jury and they take them from outside the area, then they've got the expense of having, the 12 main jurors and at least 6 backup jurors that they've got to house completely. So,
Right.
you're talking over 20 hotel rooms for just that.
Right.
Well,
Which, if it's a sequester jury, then it won't, they'd have to do that anyway. Sorry, Sonny.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what they do. I don't think they'd sequester it if it was a local jury that they pulled from there, but the defense has some great motions as to why they want to do it, but look what happened with Chadwell's case and stuff. So it can go either way.
Yeah. Just quickly to answer Carol. Yeah. Deb had put it in there, even though same thing, 116,000. Fort Wayne was 265,000.
Yeah.
So if anything's probably the better one, it would probably be Fort Wayne, bigger place, more hotel, whatever. If anything, if it even does get moved. So we'll just see how it goes, really.
I think Fort Wayne is the area that the defense was referencing in their other statements.
Okay.
Hi, Marcos. Do you think
I always confuse Terre Haute and Fort Wayne for some reason. I always confuse them, and I don't know why.
Yeah, sometimes I have my little blockages too. Marco says, do you think RA was framed by snuff trafficking ring in a professional way? No.
Do I think so? No, but can I build a case for it in my head? Yeah. I mean, it's not more off the wall than a lot of other theories.
Lewis, I think you could build a case for anything.
Yeah.
You told us yourself that you can play devil's advocate for anything.
Yeah, I know. It's just, but that just happens to be one thing that's popped into my head a few times that I don't think it's a plausible theory, but man, with everything else that's come up in this case, it's not as off the wall as some of the other theories, but yeah.
I mean, I just can't. I mean, I can't really think that it's right that they keep it in Carroll County. I don't think that it would be, it seems like there would be a lot of, I don't know. Well, first of all, it really shouldn't be, because it would to me be unfair for it to be in the Carroll County area. I just think for the sake of someone having a fair trial, that I think Carroll County really isn't the place for it myself. Not to say that I don't, want anyone responsible, of course, to, pay for their crimes and stuff like that. But
the big hang up is the jury. I mean, everything else you can have, and of course, there's always the safety concerns, but you can run into that anywhere. It's just more accessible there because you've got more people. But the big thing is the jury, because I'm trying to remember the numbers from the search party. You can't have people on there that were involved in the search or family members, and it's just such a small community that I know that if they keep it there, they're going to have to do something with an outside jury.
Right.
They argued that the population of Carroll County is about 20,000 people, I believe, and the search party had 250 people in it. So they were arguing that that a tenth of the, we know my math skills are not the best, but I think they were arguing that a tenth of the county, basically, if
you rule out children and you rule out spouses, you cut it in half.
But then again, I will say, I've been following a case very closely for the last several years that just came to a conclusion yesterday in Pike County, Ohio. And it's a county of 27,000 people, very rural, a lot of probably more rural than Delphi. And
sorry, be right back. Okay, my cat wants out. One second.
And there was a venue change ordered or issued in that case, which the judge denied, and they held it in Pike County, Ohio. They were successfully able to get a jury in half the time they thought they were going to be able to, and they came to a conclusion of the trial. Granted, it was a 51 days of testimony, but It started in July and it just ended yesterday. So, but they were able to successfully hold a fair trial in a very similar situation and manner, and that included 8 victims.
And if they go down to some jury science, like looking at search criteria and things like that, it's going to be all skewed because you've got so many people that are now looking at Delphi because of the arrest that was announced, and over such a large spectrum because of social media. So many people are taking in the new evidence and they have no idea about the earlier stuff. And
right. Well,
you're
that's
going to have a clouded pool to pick from no matter where you go.
Right, and that's one of the things that I found interesting with the Pike County analogy was because the that crime happened in 2016, and so I mean the timeline, the area, everything was very similar. I also look at like the Tara Grinstead case that happened in it wasn't Tifton, Georgia. It was can't remember the rural county in Georgia. It happened. The trial took place in earlier this year. But that case was from 2005 or 6, I believe, and it's an even smaller county than Carroll County. And they again were able to hold a successful trial and jury under the circumstances they had. And it was, nationwide. That was the case that kind of launched the podcast up and vanished.
I'll tell you, if they don't change venue, one thing that's going to be an issue here, or not really an issue, but I think will be one-sided, is I think you've got a strong defense team that understands jury science, and I don't think your prosecution has a lot of experience with that. So they might need to go to outside sources to help with that.
Well, and that's going to be the case regardless. I mean, personally, but and to me, whether they keep the case in Carroll County or they move it, it's above my pay grade. And I think I kind of think that's something for that's something in the judicial system. Yeah. So
I think the stronger reason for moving it in Indiana is going to be for safety. And with this judge, I don't think that's going to be a concern. She already proved that with the other hearing. So, yeah. I mean, I think it should be moved for other reasons, but I have a real strong feeling it's not going to be.
Would she still be the judge if they moved it out of Carroll County?
Yeah, because she's an Allen County judge to begin with. So yeah, she's already been brought in from a different county.
Right.
And if they did move it to a different county, Nick McClellan would still be the lead prosecutor, but he would have the option of adding whatever county they moved it to's prosecutor onto his team. Or just like he does now, he would have the ability to add a special prosecutor if he chose. That typically comes down to ego, and
it could also come down to the judge's decision. The judge has the ability to override that if they feel that this case becomes something that needs it. If they're moving it to a different county, if they stay where they are, I don't think so. But if they move it, the judge has the ability to step in and suggest that. So
to suggest what?
Adding a special prosecutor onto their team.
But they can't mandate it.
No, but I mean, when the judge suggests something, I think that has way more weight than anything else.
Of course, as it should, yeah.
Well, and just quickly, Carol, like there's in Indiana, you're not allowed to broadcast of the trial anyway. Like,
I'm sorry, Sunny, what did you say?
In Indiana, you cannot broadcast the trial anyway.
I don't think that's not true statewide. I don't believe. I believe some courtrooms are equipped with cameras and some are not.
Well, I guess it depends on if the change of venue happens and if that allows it then.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but are there not? Did I not hear that they have plans to add cameras to the Carroll County Courthouse, but they weren't sure whether it would be completed by March? I could be completely wrong with that, so correct me if I'm wrong, but
either way, in the state of Indiana, it wouldn't be allowed because the crime involved minors.
Right.
Okay, so that's an absolute.
And Well, it gets a little weird because they've had some. There was a test program they ran with cameras in certain counties, and actually, this judge was involved with that program where they tested that out. And then after the test program, they were going to initiate it in certain places. But from what I understand, because it involves minors and they're the victims, that it would not be telecast unless something changed within the last year. But
Well, then what was the entire purpose of the I can't, was it 7 or 8 different media organizations that filed those motions?
that wasn't that was for getting information because
That was,
they
yeah.
wanted to be able to represent themselves in court. Like they were able to file that petition and submit the petition as evidence. That was coming from the prosecution. You're not getting the public's opinion then. You're only getting a skewed portion of the public's opinion on things.
Well, yeah,
And,
under the U.S. Constitution, public courts are supposed to be public.
correct.
And the state of Indiana represents the people that live in Indiana, which means, which is why courts are open and anyone can go sit down in a courtroom if there's room.
Right.
But that I thought that had been argued pretty much nationwide. That I know certain states have different rules, but that that the people of the state can also now be considered how the media gets cameras in courtrooms.
Yeah, but as to video and broadcasting, that's different than being able to take a picture and then being able to send that later. And
right.
But with it involving minors, that would be where that strikes that down too.
Like in the Pike County case that I was just talking about in Ohio, this was the first case I've ever watched that they have a rule in Ohio that individual witnesses can opt in or out of either the video or audio being recorded. So some didn't want either recorded, and then some would just wanted the audio recorded, not the video. Okay. So to watch the trial, it made it very frustrating because you'd watch one witness testify and then you'd have an hour and a half of nothing on the screen. But that was the first time I've ever seen a case like that.
That is quite interesting that they allowed each one of the people to decide how they wanted their testimony.
Yeah. Ohio's the only state that I know that did that. Even 2 people that had already been arrested, had already pleaded for the case, and were serving life sentences.
Thanks, Miss Doglover. Carol was asking about a certain case, about the shooter case. Lewis didn't the shooter case.
Dale Brooks.
But then Miss Doglover said, yes, Carol, they kept them off the camera screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That Dale Brooks case was wild.
Over there for that stuff. So I'm just going to sit here, smile, listen to you guys talk about that stuff. Don't really know all that stuff that you guys do over there.
Yeah, those other cases are not Indiana. Indiana is where I was told that if it's a minor that's a victim, they can do a close court for that. Yeah.
Right.
Other states, other cities, then it's up to whatever their laws and rules are.
Right. SP. Yeah. That Chandler. I watched the Chandler Halderson case in its completion, and that was a wild case.
Yeah.
Crime sleuth. Yeah, crime sleuthing. We went over the PC actually a couple times, but it's no problem to answer a question that you have. Just ask.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just put it up and we'll answer it.
Alexa, that sounds weird to say it was your favorite trial, but I felt that I watched it every day.
Which one? Which one was that?
Chandler Halderson. He killed his parents.
Oh.
Burned them in the fireplace in their house. Sorry to be graphic, everyone.
Yeah. Hey, Belinda. People get into trouble looking at their devices in court. About
I know. I don't really want to have to I don't want to have to go spend 3 months in Delphi or Fort Wayne.
Yeah, the whole story was unbelievable.
We're going to need a lot of donations if that's the case.
Yeah, better start now. Let's see.
I'll be at that roadside motel that Richard Allen was living in when he worked at the Walmart.
Okay. So Crime Sleuth says, I'm looking through the PCA and Google Map. Allegedly, he was parked purple car by the Hoosier Harv store, the building next to that. The CPS building is what you speak of. So let's just bring up stop screen and we'll bring up the Google Maps here. Okay. So this is the Harvest store. Right here. So that's where the cameras are. This is where the girls were dropped off, Crime Sleuth. And this is the CPS building where it was said that he was parked, which was over here. So if you can see that, it's the CPS building, and this is the Harvest store over here. So, right. You know what? Well, you know what? Since she brought that up, let's just go right into the, the PTA. I was going to call it PTA Cruiser again.
Did you see Miss Dog Lover?
No, what'd she say?
I think in where Miss Dog Lover lives, I think they were called Cheeky.
Cheeky. Yeah, it's called Cheeky. Yeah. It's called
And
Cheeky.
Mandy Ray, I don't know what you're referring to.
Adam, you drop info so subtly. You, okay. Of course, yeah. And there's Adam. Yeah, being that little sly one, right? Here, let me just drop some. But hey, I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just saying, right? So Crimes with okay, that makes sense. I didn't see that crossing. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. But Adam, let's talk about the PTA Cruiser.
PT Cruiser.
I keep calling it PTA. I have Harper Valley PTA stuck in my head.
Now you've got that song stuck in my head.
Okay.
I just keep thinking of the group that parents belong to at their kids' school.
See-Through said something about devices. I always wanted to get that subscription for the Google Glasses, but I was never able to get on the trial program for those. I thought those were neat. If you guys have ever seen those.
Google Glasses?
Yeah, like 8 years ago they came out with them. It was a pair of glasses, but
yeah.
Actually were computer screens and you could record and
Oh yeah, we have a celebrity in the chat.
Who's the celebrity in the chat? Is that you, Adam? Are you talking about yourself again?
No.
In the chat. Oh, Fig. Is that the celebrity?
I mean,
did you?
He was on Tom Webster's show with the murder.
That? I didn't. I don't know who that is. I didn't see that at all. I saw what made me laugh though, even though I didn't watch it at all, was when they both had to go at the same time.
And he was like, "Gotta go."
And he's like, "Yep," and Fig's like, "Gotta go too."
He was like, "By the way, Adam Glambert wants to come on. Click."
Yeah. And he didn't even take you up on it either.
Well, yeah. Then he dropped that link that anyone could join. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, too late. You had your moment, Tom. Tom.
I don't come to a party unless I'm invited.
Yeah. Hey, Fig, how are you? Okay, so.
Either.
Well, okay, so Adam, PT Cruiser's up. And, okay, so. Yes. So this is the VIN number for Linda's PT Cruiser in 2008. Okay, so this is basically the look of it right here.
Yeah, now, and that might be a newer. I think that might be a newer model, right, Sonny? But
it said 2008 when I pulled it up.
Oh, perfect, thank you. Because the one I sent you was a newer model.
Yeah, no. Let me put it this way. When I pulled it up, this is what it showed me, and I was just like, okay, fine, click, good enough. Thanks.
And it was so frustrating because I have a picture somewhere of Linda Kline's actual PT Cruiser, and it was one of those things that 7 months ago when we started looking into the Klines, something I had found and I had screenshot, and it's when I knew that's when I first came across remembering she had a PT Cruiser. And then I'm like, could I find it today? No. So I'm like, it was like all day. It was like that itch you can't reach,
Yeah.
but that drives you crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I even said to someone, I was like, no one even is going to care about this picture, or it might not even be relevant. But I was like, I'm going to spend the next 8 hours looking for it.
And then you didn't find it.
Yep.
Right. But you found the VIN number. Got the VIN number.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So I just have a hard time still because it was backed in. And you can tell the difference between, to me, a smart car and like for me, a PT Cruiser, they just stand out. I personally can't see mixing them up with, Ford Focus or anything like that. Like I just can't. But
Right.
I can't see it myself. So just to have all those vehicles like a smart car, I don't know. I just feel like that's like a field day that they put that in there to the defense.
Right.
That it's just a field day here. Let's just keep adding some vehicles. Maybe it was this, maybe it was that. I don't know. But anyway, what's your thoughts on it all? Anyway, the fact that a PT Cruiser was brought up in the affidavit, and then Kline's grandma owned one.
Well, Sunny, then I just sent you the car they towed from Richard Allen's house on the six.
Yeah, I see it.
So I mean, if you wanted to put them both up, I don't know but I was like, so if that's the hatchback Focus he was driving that day, could you see people confusing them?
I personally don't confuse a SUV with a PT Cruiser, but 1 second. No, actually, I'll do it the opposite way. I'll copy this one and paste.
Miss Dog Lover, while Sunny's doing that, I'll answer your question. It's state by state whether cars have front and back license plates. Indiana apparently does not require a front license plate. Neither does North Carolina, where I live. So I know that when I lived in Illinois, they did require it. I don't know if they still do, but
my question is this: has anyone confirmed whether the CPS building used to be the State Farm building or the Farm Bureau building, actually, which is where he said he actually parked, was at the Farm Bureau building?
Oh, I have information on that.
Say that again, Lewis. I didn't actually know. What did you just say?
Yeah, he didn't say he parked at the CPS building. He said he parked at what used to be the Farm Bureau Insurance building. So yeah. I don't know if that was the Farm Bureau building that turned in. People have said that they thought that was Farm Bureau way before it was CPS, but I've not heard anyone actually confirm yes, it was. Or if he actually described where he parked, but his actual statement says the Farm Bureau building, which...
So Ivy Rose said that she confirmed that it was at one point the Farm Bureau building, but she doesn't know how long ago it was. And I know also Julie Melvin had told me she believes that that it may have been, but she didn't have the confirmation of it either. But if it was well before it was a CPS building.
I've not heard anyone say 100% that that's what was there before, and the people I know that are local didn't remember it being that either. They couldn't confirm either.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ivy Rose said it was a different building, right?
That Farm Bureau was at a different building?
Where's this Farm Bureau building? Should I bring up Google Maps again? Should I bring up Google Maps again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the words of Gray Hughes, when in doubt, Google Map.
Okay. So I don't know where that building is. Let's see.
Ivy Rose says, no, the one I found was not the same as the CPS building. It was a different one down the road a bit around the intersection of 25 and 421.
Okay.
Thank you for clearing that up, Ivy Rose.
So, where?
Put in US 25 and US 421. I think it's
What?
Indiana 25 and US 421 with the way it is.
So you want me to type in that and you expect it to
Yeah,
know
type
exactly?
that in your location. Put in,
Okay.
you know,
So,
I think it's Indiana 25 and US 421 or
Indiana 25 and US.
And while they're doing that, courts, I've got to say, with all due respect, I could not disagree with you more. But I would be interested to know why you believe that.
With who? Which one, Adam?
Courts, Nicole.
Many know why Ron Logan was a target for a setup. Why is Richard? Well,
Ask Jennifer Coffinduffer.
I think you probably. I think probably honestly, Jennifer Coffinduffer could probably answer that for you. And so if you are on Twitter, you can just tweet that one to her. And I think that she could honestly probably answer you a lot better than us on that.
But if you have information that you want to share, I'd be happy to hear what you have to say. You can email me at truecrimeaspen@gmail.com. And
yeah,
I'm open to always hearing someone's thoughts. I'm not trying to be rude.
No, but Jennifer Coffinduffer, she's on the Ron Logan thing, so she would probably have the best answer for you, to be honest with you, in all fairness. We're not on a Ron Logan path or, like set up or framed or why is it Richard Allen. So that's not a path that we venture down ourselves. And so she would just best know. Okay. Hey, McDougall Tree, how are you? Hey, Jane from the country as well.
Joshua.
How are you? Ivy Jumping Jack. Yeah. So
SP exactly.
Rick Allen framed himself. He's the star witness. Yeah. So I have a hard time believing that he parked close to where he lives and then walked over. If that's supposed to be this this is the US 421 in Old State. That's where it took me. Right near McDonald's and there's your Dollar General. Makes me want to go shopping right there.
Ask Ivy Rose if that's where she found, because
even in 2017, the CPS building had been decommissioned. So, I mean, to me, it's a moot point. I mean, to me, it really doesn't make it's neither here nor there whether he said Farm Bureau building or CPS building. He parked at the CPS building.
I was just curious if anyone confirmed that. So,
thanks, Jane. Jane.
I mean, I think it's easy to just act to whether purposefully or accidentally mistake a different government building with a different thing. Like I couldn't tell you where the CPS building in Charlotte is.
Okay. I no offense to you, Lee, at all, but I love it when people say this.
They are.
Even though we say that they're innocent until proven guilty, we all know that that's the biggest crock of crap ever, really. We say it, but nobody really believes that. When they find somebody guilty, in a sense, yeah, we have to sit there and say it and whatever. Like for me, with him, yeah, but for the most part, a person is more guilty. The way, honestly, like if we're gonna like cut the crap with the whole, innocent. We all know that, nobody really believes that so much, especially when like OJ, for instance.
Right. We do in the U.S. have the constitutional right to being considered innocent until proven guilty, which is why when any it is important to say, whenever we're talking about any of this, of course we mean allegedly, of course we're talking about, this case from what we've been presented so far. And that's that Richard Allen's been arrested for 2 counts of murder. Yes, he will be innocent until he's convicted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I read a whole write-up on that stuff as well. And of course, they're obviously in jail for a reason. And of course, if they get let off, that's, obviously they're innocent. But meaning, I remember reading a whole write-up on that whole innocent until proven guilty stuff. Because I would think the same thing, like, well, if you're so innocent, why are you sitting in jail right now? You know,
Right.
in a sense. But, you know, it was just, it's the proper way
Yeah.
it's supposed to be done instead.
And Leah, you know, no one's convicted anyone of anything.
No.
We're literally just discussing the information that's been presented to us thus far by the court. We've discussed the case for 5.5 years.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to gloss for you.
I will too. I will
And
too.
this is for Jane from the country too. Yeah. I mean, like I said, well, whatever. Rule of thumb is you're innocent until proven guilty in a court a lot.
Yeah. And like I said, we've not convicted anyone. We are just literally discussing the same thing we've discussed for 5.5 years, which is the case. And, you know, and the newest things that have come out in the case. And they happen to involve the fact that Richard Allen got arrested. So we're just discussing his arrest, not his guilt.
I just don't see anywhere where we said he was guilty first.
No.
When we've talked about this, Leah, for the last few days, and nothing I personally said or myself or anyone else, I believe, has said that he was guilty first. Because first of all, I'd have to believe still 100% that RA, you know, is guilty of, you know, it all. And like I said, I'm not really willing to say that myself anyway, but we've never said it. But that's how you read it, then well, I'm not even going to apologize if that's how you read it and took it, then so be it. But that's not was our intention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hard to believe he walked, muddy and bloody, so far down. But the thing is, what do you guys think about that? The whole muddy and bloody thing?
Well, you got to wait a minute because it's getting ready to do our dance.
Okay. Quartz.
Or
hi, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Ready? You guys ready? You guys going to join in me this time?
Oh, thank you, Leah.
You guys going to join in me this time? Oh, thanks, Leah. Okay. Ready? Why is there such a delay on it? We're all waiting like anxiously here.
I know, right?
Are you ready?
I feel like I'm waiting for that last minute of the chirp to go out before.
How was I to know there was a party going on? There we go.
Elizabeth, super chat, $9.99.
Yeah, thank you guys. Next time, throw up a question with it too if you feel like asking one. McDougal Tree, what's going on with this PTA? Oh, sorry, McDougal, you missed that part of the conversation.
Yeah. So all we know, I found it very interesting that they specifically, the word PT Cruiser is mentioned in the affidavit, and that could clearly, of course, be nothing more than the same thing as the jean jacket, blue jacket, or duck jacket, and windbreaker. It could just be different descriptions of the same vehicle given by different people. But I couldn't help but, be, that person that brought up the fact that, well, Linda Kline owns a Burgundy PT Cruiser. So if you really were still trying to go down the Kline path and connect them into this, I mean, if you've got a car parked a mile away from where Kagan's phone was logged into Wi-Fi all day.
Lewis, I caught you bebopping with your head a little too, dude.
There's your breadcrumbs. So
I'm shaking my head with them because the coincidences that pop up with the Klines are just so many.
You know what? Let's go back.
I didn't think we had enough. I just didn't think we had enough things to talk about in Delphi, so I thought I'd just drop that one little bit more, thing in there to.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Like today was a bunch of, information and whatever.
And what did I say to you this morning, Sonny?
Nothing.
What I said, Sonny, is there going to be any breaking news today? Or, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah. I said something like, go work on your Idaho case or something. Court says, how many LEO have the same gun as RA? Do they usually use a 40?
What's LEO?
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement officer.
Sorry. I don't know. I do know Brad Weber had that gun, that same gun.
That's right. Heather's saying, what do you think about Libby's phone? Do you think she hid it underneath her? Do you think they got lost in the scuffle? Do you think the killer knew it was there? Well, I doubt he knew it was there, because I'm sure he wouldn't want himself on camera. Yeah. Like, I'm sure he wouldn't want to see himself on the news for the last 6 years, pretty much.
Right.
Should it be Richard or M. Allen, who is wearing the same, who literally... Can I feel like somebody's playing a joke on me here by someone literally admitting that they were on the bridge, that they were wearing those clothes, black or blue jacket? Like, they literally said that they were there from 1:30 to 3:30, blah, blah, blah. That they literally just said, you know what? I am right here. And you guys can't find me. And I've told you I was right there.
Right.
That's the strangest. I can't believe in my head that someone's like, yep, I was on the bridge. Yep, I was wearing clothes just like that, basically. Yep, I was there from one. Yep, I parked over here. Yep. And I just, it's like, you just feel like going, here, arrest me right now. Like, I just gave you all the information. And then I'm sure he was like, I feel like he was almost like chuckling, like going, but I literally told them I was there. I mean, they're going to, like, kind of like in the press release, they're going to use that to their advantage, be going like, well, why would somebody say that? If that person's guilty, why would they say that they were there? They were on the bridge, did it? Or how many other people were on that bridge that day at that time during that, with those clothes and all that stuff? And
just looking at fish from 70 feet high off the ground.
Yeah.
Lewis, I was going to let you answer that before I addressed it as well.
Sure.
Oh,
what's that?
Oh, what? See, Sunny answered, and then she didn't let you or I.
Oh,
Lewis.
I'm so sorry. What?
Libby,
what?
we were still on Libby's question.
Go ahead. Go back to Libby's question.
Repeat that question.
No,
because now you got me lost.
It was something about that. It was sure. If I can find it again. Oh, what do you think about Libby's phone? Do you think she hid it underneath her? Do you think it got lost in the scuffle? Do you think that the killer knew it was there?
Oh, that. I don't think it mattered to him whether it was there or not. I really don't think they were concerned about the phone. And I don't think it was hidden under her. I think that it was just there. I don't think he searched for it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I think that, personally, I don't think that he knew she was filming him. I mean,
yeah.
I think he probably knew she had a phone on her because she was a 14-year-old girl, and who knows what happened earlier in that day. But I don't think that when it comes to, I don't think he meant to leave the phone or take it. I just think that he probably. Thank you.
There's my love. Hi,
Steffa just wanted me to stop talking. I think that he was probably in the most euphoric state of his existence, which is one reason he didn't notice the bullet casing or the unspent round or the phone. I think that
Lewis.
He was literally in the middle of what he'd fantasized about and had just done.
Lewis, gloss with your finger quickly for Stefan.
But that's just my opinion.
Okay.
Now, see, I disagree. I don't think it was that. I think maybe he gave commands, they weren't listened to. Let's say the gun jammed, and that's why he had to pull it back to clear the round out because it didn't fire. So then it went from I'm going to shoot them to a hand-to-hand type combat situation. Now everything's just a complete mess. And once I'm done, I've got to cover up what I can and get out of here. That's more along the lines of what I think happened when they got to that point. I don't think it was a fantasy gone wrong. I think it was a it didn't turn out like expected. It turned into a combat situation. And at that point, it was die or let die and then escape.
Well,
I mean, I'm going to say I'm sorry, Sonny, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I'm not a gun person, but from everything that I've been told and heard for myself now that I've listened, that is not a quiet gun.
No.
So I am going to disagree with you, Lewis, and say that he had encountered 3 people walking into that trail, another when he was standing on the first platform. Mm-hmm. So he already was taking a lot of risks being there and committing the crime that he was committing in the environment he was. Firing that gun, even once, let alone twice, would have been damning for him to ever try to get away. Because I don't care what the wind was like. I don't care what anything was like. Anyone in that vicinity would have heard that gun. I don't think he ever planned on firing using that gun.
The same.
And I don't think he would have had, from what we know about the knife or bladed weapon that he had with him, that's not a weapon that you just have on you in case. Like, he planned on using that weapon to commit this crime. The gun was there nothing more than to scare those girls into submission, which it did. And he fulfilled the fantasy that I believe he'd had for a long time.
Now, see, what I think happened is he was waiting for them. They were targeted. He gets them down the hill. The reason you found clothing evidence on that side is because that's where he tried to do the attack the way he planned it. One or both of them decided to run to get away. Now it becomes I have to catch them because I've gone too far. And that's where he takes the gun out. Once he grabs them, there's combat. It doesn't fire. And then he does what he has to do.
What are you talking about on that side? What do you mean the clothes on that side? They were found on the same side. The bodies were found.
The clothes were found on the private drive side of the.
No.
It says in the affidavit they were found in the creek.
They were found in the. No. Yeah. What it says is that they were found found on the south, meaning south. They said they were found south of the bodies on the creek, not that they were found across the creek,
right.
But they were found south, which is just below the bodies. So they were.
But the sneaker was found on the south side, on that side of the ground. It was not in the creek.
No, that was not
because they held that up while she was on the bridge to show her. It wasn't on the other side. It was on the side of the private driveway.
Which she could have lost easily just crossing the creek.
Right. Or going down. Who knows?
And I know it sounds redundant, to go over some of that stuff again. But no, like I said, you're entitled to, of course, have the opinion you have. But we don't know enough to. We don't know enough to know anything.
No,
I think we know a lot. I think I feel confident that I know enough to form a educated opinion on the matter, and that's my opinion. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because it's not about me.
Well, I'm gonna pipe in now. You guys pipe down for a second over there. Sure. Love you guys. First of all, let me just go back to this question because I've had it up for a while. Elizabeth, do CSAM people video and sell crimes like this? No disrespect and feel gross for even asking. Yes. Meaning regardless if it's to do with this case or not. That thing is a very normal thing on the web. There's a lot of really disgusting, gross things that are on the deep web and stuff like that. So is that a thing that they do and stuff like that? Absolutely. So that's just a normal question, really. It's this sick and twisted world out there, but there's a lot more that goes on that web, and people do that stuff, right? All the time. But anyways, so as for the other part, I think from reading the affidavit, you could clearly, from what I think most people would gather, was that the clothes were on the side that the girls' bodies were found. They were found just south of the bodies, is what it was said. They didn't say across the creek. They said south of the bodies in the water. In the water. So, and anyone reading that would believe that the clothing, which we've always heard, was on that side of it, whereas the runner shoe was somewhere and I don't even want to say it was on the private drive because we don't even really know that, because Kelsey really just talks about the fact that whoever was in the search party yelled back up, which means it could have been at the private drive that it was found, or it could have been down even further. That they yelled back up, and because she knew it was a Nike shoe or whatever. But again, I mean,
Black Nike, yeah.
you know,
And how many of us have lost a shoe, walking down a hill
running,
or trying to cross somebody's bank?
Yeah.
But can I answer really quickly?
Yeah. Who?
I wanted to answer. Where did it go? Oh, great. Courts and Cole. Rick Allen's defense will ask where Rick was target practicing. Well, I have an interesting question for anyone out there that owns a gun or is a gun person, because I'm not, like I've said many times. Hypothetically, if during the search warrant of Rick Allen's house, in addition to the gun that they found, the Sig Sauer that's connecting him to this unspent round that they found 2 feet from one of the victim's bodies, if they found a spent shell casing that had come from that same gun, if it's a spent casing, that means it's been fired, correct? So
yeah, spent is.
If they recovered a spent casing from the backyard of Rick Allen's house, could they then use both of those things, the unspent round and the spent round and the gun, to further concrete the science behind linking them to the same gun?
I'm sure they would try to do that if the marks lined up completely. They're going to look at both of those, but I'm sure they ejected shells from that gun multiple times to get more than one matchup that way too. But if they did find a spent shell from the backyard, but in where he lived, I guess there's always people that do stuff like that, but I don't see him firing in his backyard anywhere there. Just the way the house is triangulated around, unless he was aiming towards the woods, which means he'd have to shoot past his shed behind his neighbor's trees. But I don't see enough room in his yard. What's that?
I said it was. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a rural town like that, and that wouldn't have been uncommon where I lived, even with neighbors. But it was just my hypothetical question about if that had been found during the search warrant in his backyard.
I
was just curious.
As many as they can get, they'd have to know that came from that gun, though. So I mean, that's.
Well, that was my hypothetical question about if they then linked that same spent casing to the gun.
Yeah.
How much weight would that add to their case? Hypothetically,
I don't think it would add any more to it, because they have the gun and they've got whatever ammo he had there. The only time that would have more weight is if the date code on the one found at the crime scene matched the spent shell that was in his property, but the boxes of ammo they had were newer and didn't match the date. And then that would wind up being an argument you could have there too, that it's not from the same ammo he had. But I mean, if they shoot their gun, 5 years is a lot of time. You're not going to have that same box of ammo unless you don't really go to the range and shoot. I mean, some people just have a gun for defense and they've got ammo that's 8 years old sitting there. But it would be nice to know what kind of shooter they were, if anyone knew them, if these were people that actually went and practiced at the round, or if this was a situation where they just owned guns and didn't go and shoot them anywhere. And if that's the case, that would explain finding that round there, because if he's an inexperienced gun owner, he could have one in the chamber and go to, pull it back to make the noise to scare them and lose a round and not even realize it. I mean, they eject fast. So if he's not really an experienced shooter, I could see that happening too.
So, yeah. So I mean, what I'm hearing is if it was from the same lot of ammo, that would be pretty damning.
Oh yeah, if the
Yeah.
ammo in the gun or a box of ammo matched up date code wise with the date codes on the round that was found there, that would be very incriminating evidence. That would be way more than just the marks.
That'll be
Because
an
now
interesting.
you've got correlation between brand of ammo, date marks on the ammo, and then the markings on there from the ejector.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting hypothetical thing to keep in mind.
I think I think that probably it still played out where at the end of the south end of the bridge is that, you know, he pulls his gun out, they got a gun, that when they were at the crime scene is when he racked it back, and that's when the casing fell out, and that's how it probably ended up there. You know,
I've got a better hypothetical that goes along with what you just said, Sonny.
yeah.
Let's say there's not one in the chamber, and he's not really, or it's either heat of the moment, or he's not really experienced with guns.
Right.
And he racks it once to scare them at the end of the bridge to get them to listen, and that puts one in the chamber. And then when he gets to the other side to commit the crime, he goes to do it again to scare them because they're not listening, and now it ejects that round that was in there. And he never even knew that happened. So that could be a possibility if he's not really... If his wife's more the gun owner and not him, because I've heard that she had the concealed carry, but I didn't hear that he did. But I heard that he actually purchased the firearm. But
no, he had a firearms license until they weren't required anymore.
He had a license, but did he have I heard that the wife actually had a concealed carry, which is not just a regular gun owner's license. So if she was more the gun owner and the marksman, maybe, you know, she grew up as a kid with guns and always had them around, and he just is the husband, and so he went along with it. He might not have the experience. He might just have a license to own firearms and buy them. So,
you guys, let me just play this.
Yeah,
okay.
I would be armed if I was his wife.
Yeah,
Carol, I like that. Subjective is the important word there.
Yeah, subjective, like the thing. But you guys, let me just quickly play this, because this is that when the FBI responds to the claim about the clerical error. Just a small little.
Sonny, I'm going to send you I'm going to send you a video to play when you're done with that, in regards to what we're talking about.
Okay. So let's do that. We'll do that.
Yeah, I agree with what Steph will put up there.
From the case against Richard Allen to the FBI's handling of the investigation early on. Let's get right to Emily Longnecker. And Emily, you actually just got new info about reports that Richard Allen could have been a suspect sooner?
Yeah, ladies, tonight a source close to the investigation confirmed to 13 News a clerical error from an FBI civilian employee led to Richard Allen being overlooked as a suspect in 2017, something the FBI disputes. They tell us the implication that a clerical error by an FBI employee led to years of delay in identifying Allen is misleading, and that their review shows FBI employees correctly followed procedure. Now, earlier today, we reached out to the families of Abby and Libby for comment, and just an hour ago, Libby German's sister, Kelsey, responded. She tells us, "I have full faith in the team working on the case and will continue to support them in any way I can as we work toward a conviction and justice for Abby and Libby." And we'll stay on top of this and bring you any breaking updates as they come in. And tonight I'm talking to a longtime defense attorney who takes a deeper dive into the charging documents against Richard Allen and tells us why she believes that the evidence outlined in those documents at this point is circumstantial at best.
We start tonight at 7 with breaking news in the Delphi murders case. Fox.
Yeah, we'll take that off. Okay, hold on a second. I got to go back here at least when I'm doing this. Let me just see. Lewis, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, Steph had put something up, and I was just going to respond to her, but then the video started playing, so I'd have to go back.
Oh, okay. I'm not really
sure. She was saying because of the mass production with the guns and, you know, being hard to identify the marks, but that would be a stronger argument that it is the same weapon if the date code on the ammo matches. So, like I said, I don't know if they were regular shooters and they went to the range all the time and what they did, or if they just were, you know, owners that had the same ammo around for years. So that would be an interesting thing if they found the date-coded ammo in the box and the actual weapon.
CD says, Lewis, yep, they were both licensed CCWs.
Yeah. Yes, I knew she was. I didn't know if he was.
Yeah.
I never saw confirmation anywhere. I knew he was he had a gun permit, but I didn't know if it was concealed carry or not. So then I mean, if he was a concealed carry owner, he should know whether it's loaded or not, or what to expect. Or I could see one mistake, but not two mistakes.
Unless
so that
you're,
goes back to my thinking,
you're
heat of the moment.
Unless you're having an adrenaline high or an
Yeah.
euphoric state from the fantasies you've been looking at to fulfilling.
But I could also see that thing jamming because how well did they clean their guns? I mean, yeah, that's one that you can have jams with. So I could see that weapon jamming and then having to get it out and clear the chamber. So it's a possibility.
That was my okay. So, Adam, did you send me that clip?
Yes, I did.
I don't see it. Oh, now I see it. Okay, 1 second then.
And this was sent to me directly from a friend of mine. There is a YouTube video out there she put out, but she sent me the original video just to play to clear things up. They did a demonstration where this could happen, like what they're saying happened with Richard Allen's gun, allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay, let me just play that quickly. Is there any? Let's see.
With the affidavit that came out today, when they unsealed it for Rick Allen, I was asking my husband, how is it that there's a bullet that's found that had been in the chamber, but then was found between the two girls? This is at 45 HK. He had a 40 caliber 6 Sauer. And so this is typically how it would happen.
So just to let you know, when this is called the upper chamber, this is your upper rail. It's where the bullet comes from the magazine up through the handle into the chamber. And when you pull this back, the bullet comes from the magazine, goes into this little hole. And when you slide it in there, it leaves a fingerprint on the casing. It's indistinctive to every gun. Okay. So put it on safety. My gun is empty. All right. So if I load my magazine, and I put a bullet in the chamber, now I have a bullet in the chamber.
Okay.
Okay. Now, most shooters know you're walking loaded.
Okay.
But in his, if he could have gotten scared, he could have fired and the bullet misfired, didn't go off.
Okay.
You eject it and the bullet kicks out. It's still a bullet. It's not fired.
Now, why would you eject it like that?
To get another shell into the round. You want,
or say you either forgot that you
if
had
you
a
forgot
shell
you
in the
had it
round,
loaded or it jammed, one or the other.
and so
Then you're gonna re-rack it, and same thing. You kick out another bullet.
But wouldn't he know that it got kicked out? I guess
here again.
He could have, but he then.
That's all speculation, you guys. I'm just telling you that's how it works.
Well, I think there's a possibility that what could have happened is that he did forget he had it in the chamber, or it got jammed, and obviously he couldn't find it between the girls. It's probably nestled in between leaves or something. Thank you. Okay, this is for demonstration purposes. With the
Okay. So thanks for that demonstration. I know exactly who that was. Yeah, thanks for the demonstration for that. I think it was a nice demonstration. So yeah, I mean, sometimes when something falls out, and then maybe he knew it fell out, but he couldn't find the darn thing.
But that's it too, because it depends on how strong that spray. It could shoot the thing 2 feet over, and he didn't see where it went. So
yeah. I mean, how many times? I don't know how many times when I was at work that I dropped, like a little nose piece, and you're trying to find the little screw, and you're in a small little space, and then there it's like you got leaves and all that stuff, and like I said, maybe he just couldn't find it. Knew that it popped out.
Well, I mean, even like I have a necklace that I wear a lot. That I was in Portugal and I was walking with. I had a bag strapped across like a crossbody thing, and it pulled the chain down and it loosened it, and the thing that was on the necklace fell off. And I mean, I knew it fell off, and I mean, but on the ground that I was in, there were leaves everywhere. It would have taken hours to probably find the like charm that was on that necklace. So, you know, even though I knew it, I was like, can't find it, and I left.
You know, Yep. What? Let's see here.
But I do thank you for the person that sent me that demonstration, because, you know, and they did make a point. We didn't show it at the beginning of the video, but they did tell me that, you know, they said this is for demonstration purposes only, and they verified the safety of it all before they did it.
Mm-hmm. Alexis says, let's remember that Ari was probably living in his wildest fantasies, and he probably didn't pay attention to the gun. His mind was in another place. I'm still not convinced of that myself, about the whole living his wildest fantasy thing. That still for me remains to be seen. Could be. I all I see is someone that got there before the girls, like 22 minutes, you know, was wearing quite a bit of items on himself as he was on that bridge. Something that just is so clear and abundant to anyone that would have seen him, that he had this plethora of stuff that he was walking with on the bridge. I just find it in my head so mind-boggling that it feels like just such a blatant, like,
right,
get out of my way, coming through on a mission, gonna go do something, here we go, and then carries it out, and then by the same token says, yeah, I was there from this time to this time. Yeah, you know, I was wearing that, was wearing blue. It just seems so absurd and ridiculous to me. And so, yeah, I mean, he could have been carrying out his wildest fantasies for sure. Or not, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and say that, to be honest. I know Alexa is our profiler, and that's what her instinct and her experience is telling her from the case. I'm just not, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just am not there to believe that this wild fantasy, but maybe it was, you know, and he was like, hell, I don't care. Whatever, my life sucks, YOLO, you know, I'm gonna go freaking just gung-ho here and do all this, and basically I'm telling you, here I was, and the alley, you know, like, you know, whatever happened there for 5.5 years later, and it's what an absurd case. I can't say that enough. What an absolutely absurd case in so many ways. The word strange doesn't even cover it. It's just crazy, odd, weird,
coincidental.
Yeah, you know, just.
I have a question for the both of you. I don't know if you want me to ask it now or after we do the press release part of it.
Sure, go ahead.
Or maybe I can ask it now and then you can think about it. We can talk about it later. But,
okay.
If you had, what are your 3 biggest questions at this point in the case that you want answered?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would take a minute to think about.
So, yeah, think about it. Think if you could have any 3 answers or 1, whatever, how many questions, or even in the chat, you know, what are your 3 burning questions?
Hey, Quartz, when you put up a super sticker, you should put a question in there to see as well. Meaning, if you're going to put up for $19.99, you might as well put up a question, go with it on there. Ready, Lewis? No, there was a
Miss Dog Lover, the one thing you wouldn't have been wrong about it is if I were committing this crime, I probably would have been late and not gotten there in time.
Carol says Sunny, Aspen, and Lewis. And just so you guys know, in case anyone ever gets confused, Aspen and Adam. Adam is Aspen. His online name is Aspen Connor. So just so you know, when you hear us calling him Adam, that's referring to Aspen. You don't know who he is, yeah. Where were all the things like the giant stuffed toy that have been alleged to be at the crime scene and in his jacket? Someone subscribe? Thank you, Quartz, again for the super chat, and thank you. Oh, Ozzy just sponsored. That was it. There we go. Hey, Ozzy. So Carol. That's not probably the best picture. Those are ones I was playing with earlier. So, let's see here. If this is the crime scene, that's probably not the best picture either.
While you're looking for that picture, I just want to say something. My hope is that this bullet evidence is not needed, and that all these witness testimonies are not needed, and they actually have some strong evidence that links him to the end of the bridge and the kidnapping part, and they can tie everything else together. Because I see the other stuff being a fight either way, and I'm hoping there's stuff not in the affidavit that they've got ready to go, and it's going to surprise the hell out of the defense.
My world is weird.
Well, it won't surprise them because they'll get the discovery. But yeah, exactly. I mean, they said they have a strong case.
Yeah. And when they keep saying that, I'm hoping that the stuff that's in here was just to get the arrest quickly and has nothing to do with the evidence they really have.
I feel like it is. I feel like, yeah.
Like I'm hoping maybe there's a fingerprint on that casing on that bullet from loading it. There's DNA from something else. Maybe you've got some strong evidence that links him to everything, and that way everyone can, feel easy once it goes into court.
Yeah, I will say that I am confident that as of the date that they issued the search warrant on Richard Allen's house, they did not have DNA that conclusively linked him to the crime. Nor do we technically know that he was asked to give up DNA until October of 2022, because we don't know that he provided DNA in 2017.
I don't think his DNA is what I would want, though.
No, I'm saying DNA or fingerprint, either one. I'm saying I've said that all along that I was told this was, quote, not a DNA or fingerprint case, and that was as of the date they issued the search warrant. So my hope is that they have DNA or fingerprints. Well, the fingerprints wouldn't, but that they have DNA from the vehicle, the jacket, or the thing we haven't discussed at all actually is the boots. I mean, if he still owned those boots that he was wearing that day, and this was a bloody crime scene, I don't want to go graphic, but if he was wearing those boots, there could still be DNA on the not only that but there also would be footprints in that mud that they can conclusively connect him to the actual crime scene where the girls were found. If they found the boots he was wearing, and they recovered boots from his house.
And those would be more like hiker boots, by the way, if anything, not boots.
No one really talks about the boots yet.
No.
That's my explanation of strong evidence. I'm hoping they've got something that's evidence or DNA from the victims on items that they found in the search, because that would be strong evidence. Finding it the other way around can be, I'm agreeing. That's what I meant when I said that earlier, because, having his evidence at the crime scene can be explained away. Having their evidence on his items in his house or his car, that's strong. That's really what I hope they have.
Right. Same. Exactly.
And I would love, of course, that they found items of the girls on his property. I was not told that they did, but I'm hoping that they did.
Yeah. You guys, there's 249 people in chat. If you guys could give a like, that would be amazing. If you could do that for us, thank you so much. And good debate going on, guys. Love it. Yeah. Love all the questions that are coming out. Sorry we can't get to them all.
Scony Lassie, they did take. I think the quote was they'd almost taken DNA from every male in Carroll County, which Lewis could argue with them would play into them not being able to get a good jury.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we had a talk yesterday after the live about not cutting each other off, and yet we're doing the worse today than we did yesterday.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
So I was just going to say, because I noticed that I was talking and then Adam saw a question, and I've done the same thing myself. And Lewis, you've cut Adam off many times throughout the live, when he was talking, or never letting him finish. So let's be very wary of that when we're speaking, because if there's nothing more frustrating when people hear us keep over talking each other on that. So let's just wait, I guess, till we're completed a sentence before we hop in and interrupt each other. Deb, did you like that spanking? Okay. Yeah, no, it's just because I know how it feels when I'm watching it live and people are over talking each other and you literally have no clue what that person was just saying, especially when some of those super chats are going off as well. And then they talk as well over it. So I don't even know what I was going to say anymore. Oh, go on. Okay, yes, I want to go back to Carol from that. So Carol, so this is right. This is the search. This is the day of the crime scene. Okay, so the searchers are in the water, and this good. Okay, and this is the a day of the I guess the 14th it would be. So the crime scene is right here. And although you don't see nothing here, so the crime scene that I see is basically from here, could be further out still. And, in this area, all right here. Okay, I would say more like this area. So if I brought something like this, you guys know I call this the Pancake Man. There's definitely some item here, more items there. I was just playing around with these ones today. It's not typically the pictures I show. But we know that at the crime scene there, right? So that's at the crime scene right there, right? This is their sharp bladed object, some sort of bladed object, some sort of camera, some sort of cat looking doll staring at a victim. That's possibly another camera that's staring at the victims right there. There's Mr. Bunny Rabbit and stuff like that. What else? This is what I deem as the mask that's there. This is what I call the running shoe or the hiker boot. Probably more of a hiker boot. Again, bladed object that's at the crime scene. Pancake Man again, victim right here. Cats would be right there. Bunny right here with the ear, with the headphones set on, stuff like that. And again, that's all from looking at this. Okay. So unless somebody's willing to pull out their own program and play with it themselves, Mr. Pancake Man is right there. There's some sort of shrine thing going on right here. Victim 1, victim 2's here. Bunny Rabbit's over here. Masks are over here in this area. So it's all you have to do is go back to when Ives is saying now. As for the BG, again, I've shown tons of pictures. Carolyn, you know this. I've shown tons of pictures to show that BG has quite a few items on him. I don't know that I have him in here. Do I have anything? Oh, well, here's one picture, I guess. Oh, here's no, hold on. Is that one? 1 second. Okay. So if this is the BG's head here, and this item right here is literally on the side of his right side of his head, because this is deceptive. Okay. Because the hat's right here still, in a sense. So the hat's there, but just because of, the video and things kind of can overlap a little bit. This thing is more behind his head than so much in front of his face, like it's kind of showing, whether or not he was smoking that day. If he did, he had brown butt tips. But anyway, so this item right here, it's clear as day that this is an item. There's no calling it anything else besides that's an item that's on the BG. You can clearly see that there's some sort of cupping of what this item is. I don't know if it's some sort of, I don't even know. There's fixtures that are at the crime scene. Okay. So picture this person having this metal thing, and it's on both sides. It's not just the one side, it's both sides, on his back, behind his back, plus the thing that's going down his right arm that he's got there as well, plus the little knapsack, plus his little walkie-talkie thing on his arm here. And that's just only what I can see, or what Julie knows. I heard Julie mention this on Figs the other day. Julie said too that, and Julie has a lot of information, regardless of what you think. Julie has a lot of information, and she even said it's not like he was just carrying a gun. He had a lot of items on him. Now, me and Julie, we've never actually spoken, but I know she's correct. She knows she's correct. And that's the thing, is that it was a plethora of stuff at the crime scene. Plus, he took a lot with him, but there's no way he took everything with him. That is what's showing of the BG walking down the bridge. There had to be either somebody else, or that stuff was hidden somewhere already. Who knows? Either way, it just seems like the most reckless crime in so many ways. When you've seen the affidavit and you realize he got there 22 minutes before a woman, people see him, someone's 50 feet away from him being on the first platform, and he has all this gear on him as well. So it wasn't just him, oh, I'm just gonna go to the first, look at fish, and gonna go back, sit on a bench. And I think on True Crime Webs, it's like one person had said that, well, then he would have seen Abby and Libby if he would have went back to sit on the bench or whatever like that. Bottom line is that he didn't. He obviously kept going beeline straight down to where Abby, and then still, obviously Abby and Libby were murdered. It's just so crazy to me that this was so. It just seems so sloppy in all ways when you really look at it. And then to have the guy basically saying, like, look, I was there between exactly the time that the coroner's report said that the girls, it was all over by 3:30. Well, that would pretty much fall in line with if both girls were deceased by 3:30 and he left around that 3:30 to 4 o'clock mark and stuff like that. It's almost like someone just not even caring. And then he only got away with it because Ali screwed it up. That's what it seems like. I don't know. That's my thoughts. Anyways, Carol, that was to answer your question, and anybody else for stuff at the crime scene. Piggy Mask, there's a guy taking pictures. There's a couple people actually at the crime scene or whatever. There's a microphone. You guys don't forget he's got a headset on and all that stuff. That's a close-up of his boot shoe or whatever it is that he's wearing. It's just on and on. Okay, back to you guys. Lewis and
whatever his name is. Adam Aspen.
Yeah.
Steph, he doesn't have any vehicle currently, but he will, I think, have a very long career of making license plates for vehicles in the upcoming years, allegedly. But yeah, no, they did still own the Ford Focus at the time of his arrest, and it was seized from his house the day of the search warrant.
Jumpin' Jack Flash, I don't think that the witnesses have been really saying anything. Maybe they have to people close around them. But I mean, if it's been 5.5 years and the witnesses, and we've never heard the name Richard besides in the 4chan thing that one time, and who knows if that was actually referencing him, it very well could be. But either or, that will remain to be seen when the witnesses actually take a stand and when the truth starts coming out with things.
Yeah.
That's all I probably can say about that. Ron Logan's property.
I'm sorry, Sonny.
No. That was it, Ron.
And yeah, some of the witnesses didn't necessarily say, but he did say that, other than the blue jeans and blue jacket he was wearing, that, he may have had a head covering on. So, star witness, R.A.
Yeah.
Michelle O, hello, what's the focus on today? We're mainly going over the ruling or the order that the judge issued today, setting a hearing date in January to address the gag order in this case, and also the change of venue. We're reading the press release that was put out by Richard Allen's defense attorneys, and we're also talking about just the fact that a PT Cruiser was mentioned in the affidavit. And we found it interesting that Tony Kline's mother, Linda, owned and still owns a 2008 PT Cruiser Burgundy, which was the color mentioned in the affidavit. So that's the gist of it.
Yeah, and just to answer, because I see the conversation, I call it Pancake Man because if when you're looking at, okay, this isn't the best picture for it, but you can typically see two black eyes here. So it reminds me of a stick man turned sideways, and I call it Pancake Man because it looks like a pancake, flat face, Gumby type looking thing facing the trees, and you're seeing it from a side view. And from the side view, it looks like a flat pancake man, and with his arm holding something. And so there's definitely something in this arm that's holding something, but I just call it the Pancake Man because I really don't know what the structure is. There, over here is like a shrine of some sort. There's definitely a shrine. There's something, a big shrine going right here. It's really crazy because if you look at the body, one of the bodies, and you think of and you think of how big a human body is, in a sense. And even though they're 13 and 14, these, like Libby's a pretty decent sized girl, eh? Abby's a smaller thing, but still, a body's pretty big. And then when you think of, like this right here, like I know that it's a shrine of some sort that's going on right here. There's other things around here, but there's specifically some sort of shriney thing going on in this whole area. I've been trying to kind of take a look and see what it is, but it's not an easy task because if you look at it this way, it doesn't look like much. But what I'm talking about is if this is the body down here, there's this shrine thing here that has different things around it. I just don't know. I can't make it out for the life of me because it looks like some sort of weird barbecue that if you opened up the lid, I don't know. Anyways, so that's what I'm talking about when I say shrine thing. Sunny, did you say there's a LEO taking pictures in that pic? Yeah. Well, there's a what do you want to call it? Crime scene investigator. There's a couple of them, but there's one. I'll show it quickly one more time. There's because obviously, okay, the only reason why this footage exists, regardless, is because of the helicopter footage from RTV6. Okay, so that's the only reason why this exists. But this footage would have been cut out, you know, because that's where the flash went off, for the crime scene. So that's obviously means that there would have been crime scene investigators there. So this was just one of the ways of showing you that right here, like this dude right here, he's taking pictures. You can see his hat, his face, his arm, he's bent down. He's taking pictures of the crime scene. But there's more than just him there. But that's just one of the better ways I can show you is there's the body, there's the nose, there's his arm. In here, he's holding a camera. He's got a camera right here, whatever. So anyway, yeah. But obviously at the crime scene, if they were taking flashes though, that means that there was crime scene investigators there taking pictures. Anyways, okay, go ahead. Anybody? Louis, Adam.
I'm here.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
I'm good. I'm ready to move on.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to step away for about 10 minutes, so I missed everything up until like a couple minutes ago.
I know you have to usually lock things up.
Louis, we solved everything. We figured it all out.
Yep.
Well, that's good news. Then we don't have to worry about anything.
Say thank you to Sunny. She did it.
Perfect.
All in a day's work, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Productive 10 minutes.
Right. So, well, I mean, we can go over. Do you want to go over the press release?
Yeah, I think. I've not actually read the full press release.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it says, as Richard Allen's attorney, we have received multiple requests from local and national media for interviews, comments since the unsealing of the probable cause affidavit. It would be virtually impossible to comply with these requests and continue to focus on the merits of Rick's defense. Therefore, we offer up these thoughts. We do not want to try this case in the media, and we intend to adhere to the Indiana rules of professional conduct that provide the guidelines. Okay, blah, 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 blah for that part. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Rick is a 50-year-old man who has never been arrested nor accused of any crime in his entire life. He is innocent and completely confused as to why his charges have been brought in against him for these crimes. Anything to say about that before I go to the next one, or no?
No.
No. Okay.
I was interested to know what the what the overall just reasoning they put this press release out to begin with was, and the timing of it. Of course, just like everything else in this case, literally almost, within the hour that we found out about the new hearing date being put in place, here comes this press release.
Well, I think it was because of I think it was because maybe I should have read the full thing, because to me, it's because of the top part really is that here they're looking to put a gag order, and basically the LE and everybody, and they've been talking about this for 5.5 years, and now they're looking to put the gag order, on and stuff like that. And so they're looking to say, hey, we're here to adhere to the rules. So, so it's saying, however, the police and prosecutor's office have conducted many press conferences over the 5 years plus of the investigation over the following our client's arrest. On the other hand, Rick's ability to assert his innocence has been reduced to only short post-hearing press conference. Accordingly, we feel appropriate, necessary, and within the bounds of our rules of professional conduct to make a few comments concerning the probable cause affidavit and Rick's innocence. So to me, it's just, I don't know. It's just simply to do with, let's get some of the stuff out there within regards to the affidavit. I mean, obviously, if that gag order happens, then no one can really start talking about anything. That's how I took it, really, just when I read it. They wanted to address things that were in the affidavit because he hasn't really had a chance to say anything, and they don't really have a ton of evidence to go by besides what they've been shown. I don't know. That's how I took it. How'd you take it,
Yeah,
Lewis?
that makes sense.
That's exactly what I took from it. Is I think they feel that the public has had a chance to put together their thoughts about the crime and guilt, and they've not allowed the public to put out his side of exactly what's going on. And with everything being sealed, it sort of kept that quiet until it was finally released. And when that was released, they filed for the gag order. So I could see the defense seeing a whole series of actions to keep them quiet. But that wasn't done in the beginning when it came to the actual crime and what happened and all the other people that have been dragged through the mud. And I could see that being a part of it too. Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say he's not guilty and this is just a whole bad bunch of circumstances that fell on him. And they don't want him to be tried in the media without his side being heard, like all the other POIs that have been online.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only difference. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would say the only difference being is that, for all of those POIs, none of them had 2 murder charges above their heads.
Yeah.
But yeah. I did find it, I think it's important to note also, if you think about how long that Richard Allen went without attorneys, which we saw by his own handwritten letter, he most likely, and I don't know this 100%, but I was told this, and I believe it, allegedly, that, he did not have a copy of the probable cause affidavit until he got attorneys.
Yeah, that was said early on, too, that it would only be released to an attorney. It would not be released to him. So he was kept from all of that evidence until he finally had a defense team.
Right. So, so even at this point, the defense team nor Richard Allen, they don't know what the state has because they're not required to. That'll, but if they want bail, then, the state has to, argue why they shouldn't issue bail, which means they'll have to present evidence. And that's when we'll start to get the trickling out of the discovery aspect of the case. and we'll start to get a little bit more evidence from the state. Because I don't think it's going to be in anyone's best interest for the state to lose that and for Richard Allen to end up walking out on bail. It won't happen.
Yeah, I don't even think the bail hearing is for bail. I think that the defense team is using that as a tool to gain discovery earlier on.
Well, yeah.
If they wind up doing in January, if they give them the
well, that'll be that's in February.
No, I know that's in February, but in January is when they're going to actually listen to the case for keeping everything quiet. If the gag order goes into effect on January 13th, then I don't think we're going to hear anything from February's hearing. I think that they're going to be very, very quiet if that happens on every aspect of this case, especially on the state's end, because they're not going to have any issues. But if they pass the gag order in January, then this is going to be another one where we have no information. There won't be much information given to us in February.
Because they're doing both of them the same day, correct? Yeah, obviously.
January 13th is the hearing for the gag order.
And the change of venue.
And the change of venue.
Right. Which ironically is the same date of the date they canceled of the other hearing.
Yeah.
I guess they saw the day open on the calendar.
Okay. So going on to the next one, you guys. The police did not contact Rick after Libby German and Abby Williams went missing. Rather, Rick contacted the police and voluntarily discussed being on the trail that day. Like many people in Delphi, Rick wanted to help in any way he could. Rick contacted the police to let them know that he walked onto the trail that day, as he often did. Without Rick coming forward, the police probably would not have had it or have had any way of knowing that he was on the trail that day. I'm just going to go to the next one. Rick volunteered to meet up with the conservation officer outside of the local grocery store to offer up details of his trip to the trail on that day in question. Rick tried to assist him with the investigation and told the police that he did recall seeing 3 young girls on the trail that day. His contact with the girls was brief and of little significance. Rick does not recall if this interaction with the conservation officer was tape recorded, but believes that the conservation officer scribbled notes down on a notepad as Rick spoke to him. Okay, so what do you know?
I'm assuming by this they're all going off of their by their clients' statements.
Yeah,
I only say that because they don't know everything the state has. So, Richard Allen could say he approached the conservation officer, but the state could easily say we contacted Richard Allen because we contacted the whatever cars passed by at the time we knew someone was parking at the CPS building, and that's what then led them to the witnesses that also put him there.
I'm going to have to say that I'm sure they've already requested the information from contact, because they've already brought up that they're going to question the ability for them to have done the search. So since the defense team's already getting a motion together to question the search warrant, I'm sure they've already received the information of the contact and when he was officially spoken with.
Yes, officially spoken with. They don't necessarily know what led them to him being spoken with. They're taking their.
No, I mean from originally in 2017. I'm sure by now they've documented that, and they're not going to put a press release out with misinformation in it. I think they're going to try to keep everything on their end as above board as possible and try to make mistakes on the prosecution side.
Right. Their only responsibility is to their client, and like I'm saying.
So, Adam, just remind people. So this is what client is saying, and how it's supposedly happened more.
Very well may be completely true. It could be that this is what Rick Allen has told his defense attorneys happened, and law enforcement might have a different recollection of the events and how they transpired. Because clearly we see law enforcement doesn't want anything to ruin their case by putting out misinformation either. So It's just important to remember where the things are coming from, And I'm not disputing the information that's in here. It could be 100% true. I'm just saying it also could just be the
one-sided.
The information they're being given by Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, remember, the defense attorney also didn't seem to know who Kagan Kline was.
Right. Okay. So after Rick shared his information with law enforcement officials, he went back to his job at the local CVS and didn't hear from the police for more than 5 years. The next time Rick heard from the police was October of 2022. This was approximately 2 weeks before a contested sheriff's election and within days of the federal lawsuit filed against Carroll County Sheriff's Office by its former second-in-command, Michael Thomas. In the lawsuit, Thomas claims that he had made suggestions and offered assistance in the investigation of a high-profile child homicide investigation. But those suggestions and offers were rejected by the sheriff, meaning Tobe. Thomas further claimed that the sheriff and others in the department feared the disagreements with Thomas would become publicized as a result of a political campaign for a sheriff. Thomas claims that in the suit that he was ultimately demoted and replaced by Tony Leggett, who later that year won 2022 election for sheriff. Furthermore, Thomas claims he was removed from high-profile cases. Rick was ultimately arrested on or about October 28th of 2022. So we know a lot of times people right now think it's very odd with the whole arrest versus the election and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how many of you guys in chat, think that it's odd, strange, or that it's just coincidental that it all happened. And I don't know. Let's start with Lewis. Lewis, your thoughts?
I think that the election had a lot to do with the timing of how things were done. And I think that it was very strategic. And they felt that once they found what they had to get in there and get something done. And the defense is probably going to attack that as being rushed. But I don't think it was rushed because of the election specifically, but there's definitely a benefit that they can connect to it. So that's something that I think is going to bring up a good argument. That's a good point that's in here that they put in.
Yeah. Well, and Adam, what do you think?
Yeah. And, the timing is, of course, interesting. It was right before the election. Doug Carter was in Europe.
Yeah.
Granted, but then I don't see really the political benefit to it either, because there wasn't really there wasn't really an actual threat of opposition against Tony Leggett. So him coming in and looking like the hero wasn't even really necessary. If anything, I think it's actually kind of given him a little bit of a stain on himself immediately among becoming the sheriff, considering, he's been in this case since the beginning, and it took 5.5 years for them to circle back to information they had in 2017. So I don't see that as a benefit personally.
I think that ties into keeping everything sealed for so long.
Well, yeah, that was the embarrassment.
Yeah.
11:30 a.m. Steffa, I believe.
Thank you for subscribing, Lynn. Steffa wants to know what time CD's live is going to be tomorrow.
I said I think 11:30 a.m.
11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Yes, Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, okay. There you go, Steffa. I know sometimes he just, let him off his leash and he just runs wild. That will be for the Idaho.
Yeah, we're not discussing Delphi.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew it was Idaho, but for some reason it wasn't.
We're discussing the CD asked me to be his guest tomorrow, so we'll be discussing the horrific murders of the 4 Idaho college students.
Yeah,
because I've been pretty absorbed with that case in my spare time.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of that today myself. Just another horrific case.
Right.
That's what it
And I'm
is.
sure we'll be going over it because I don't, I hope it's solved soon. But we're here to talk about Delphi tonight.
Yeah, Delphi night. I mean, yeah. You know what? It's only because there's so much Delphi stuff going on, or else probably we'd be talking about some more.
And Michael Vaughn, we didn't talk about. The whole Michael Vaughn thing happened today too. So.
Oh, what happened with Michael Vaughn today?
Do you know that case, Lewis?
No, I don't.
Monkey Michael Vaughn.
That's that little boy.
Yeah, Idaho as well, actually. But I didn't get to watch the entire press conference. I saw that it was happening. I know that there's somebody already in custody for something unrelated, I believe. I mean, I think they basically came out. They said who they think is involved. That they think that it's a homicide. But to my knowledge, they still have not.
I was on and know there was a party going on. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Julie.
Yeah. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
But they still have not recovered little Michael or Monkey Vaughn's body. So.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I seen like I didn't watch it, but I seen something about Michael Vaughn, but I didn't click on it because I was doing other things. But I was, if anything, I was watching the Idaho and then doing with Delphi stuff and vids and different things. But I seen something, but I didn't know what was going on with it. So okay. It's so sad though when I look at that little boy's picture. It's just so heartbreaking that
his little face melts my heart.
And no different. And I'm sorry, but I can't think of the boy's name. That little Hispanic boy.
The one in Georgia?
What's that? I can't think of his name all of a sudden. There's too many darn stories here. Quentin, thank you. Quentin. I could picture the face and I just couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
Little Quentin there. And it's just, you just look at those precious little faces and you just literally want to hurt the people that could ever do something like that to these children. It's just horrific. I don't, yeah. There's the Quentin Simon. Yeah. Thank you. There's no words. There's not even a word to describe the feeling when you look at these children's faces, no different than Abby's and Libby's, it's just.
I try to remind myself that, I'm sorry, Sonny.
No, that's it. Just sadness.
I just try to remind myself that, it's a good thing that we can't understand how that can happen because it means our minds don't work that way.
Nope.
Very good point.
It's always interesting. Like the only interesting part of those POSs is about like what would make them go to that level to do something. Do like to understand people's mindsets behind committing such horrific crimes? Like what in their life went so wrong, or what, did they feel like some demons attacked their head or something? Like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's from
Anthony.
Yeah. Oh, I can't even.
There's a new documentary about her, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I can't even stand looking at that chick. Honestly, it makes me verbally.
Living her best life.
Yeah. Something about Panther. She was dancing at some Panther freaking thing. I can't stand looking at her. She just revolts me. She's just a narcissistic liar. She's just disgusting as a human being. Get off the
planet. I'm just grateful she hasn't had more children.
Yeah, just poor little kids can't even have a carefree childhood without threats around all these days. Yeah.
Great. Well, Jane from Red Rock Country, you'll have to check out CD's live tomorrow.
Yeah, CD's live approximately 11. Hey, CD, you going to show up for it?
Don't tell him. I might be late.
I love it when CD schedules alive and then it's like, and then you go in the chat and it's like, oh, again?
I'm like, dude, you're on my schedule.
It's so funny. It's to the point where you're just almost like, is he going to show up this time? City, you're going to show up for your own life. So 11:30 approximately. That one should be, I believe.
Yeah, and it's already scheduled.
Okay. Oh, no, they've been scheduled before. It's just when you have kids, and stuff like that. It's not as easy as when you don't have little ones running around, right, Alexa? Not quite as easy yet. But anyways, okay, let's go back to. So where were we at here? Oh, the magic bullet. I like how they call that, the magic bullet. So in the 5 years since Rick volunteered to provide information to the police, Rick did not get rid of. Okay, so this is where I want to talk about too. Rick did not get rid of his vehicle or his guns and did not throw out his clothing. He did not alter his appearance. He did not relocate himself to another community. He did what any innocent man would do and continued with his normal routine. The probable cause affidavit seems to suggest that a single magic bullet is proof of Rick's guilt. It's a bit premature to engage in any detailed discussions regarding the veracity of this evidence until more discovery is received. But it is safe to say that the discipline and for tool mark identification ballistics is anything but science. The entire discipline has been under attack in courtrooms across the country at being unreliable and lacking any scientific validity. We anticipate a vigorous legal and factual challenge to any claims by the prosecution as to the reliability of its conclusions concerning the single magic bullet. On Rick's behalf, we argued to have the PC unsealed. Rick has nothing to hide. As importantly, we are hoping that we would receive tips that would assist us in providing us his innocence. Not surprisingly, we have been inundated with tips and variety of sources, all of which have been vetted by our team, although it is the burden of the prosecutors to prove. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'm looking for you. Thank you very much, subscriber. To prove Rick's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay. Which takes me to that one. Thank you, Anthony. So that's for me, that's the same thing. Oops, can you guys see that properly? Probably not. I actually hit the thing out too far. Right. Okay. So if he didn't get rid of his vehicle, didn't get rid of his guns, didn't get rid of his clothing, didn't get rid of any of that stuff, didn't change his appearance. And then was this just somebody just asking to be caught? Was it
begging, asking? Use a synonym.
That's what it feels like, right? It just feels like that someone just, like I said, 22 minutes before the girls arrive, boom, he's there. He obviously knows they're going to be there, completes his mission, does that here. Hey, yeah, I was there. Hello. It's just like, it just feels like someone that's just saying, hey, you know what? I think I'd rather be behind bars than out.
I mean, everything about the guy looks like the kind of guy that hated everything about his own life.
And that's when people do those moments.
I mean, does he not just look like he was miserable in every aspect of his life?
I feel like if I was to guess, I feel like he probably hated his life. Especially if he was involved in the whole CSAM stuff and blah, blah, blah. I just feel like it's someone that probably just gave up maybe on life and hated life and, didn't seem to care. It's almost like someone that just didn't care. That's how I read this. Someone that just didn't care if they were seen. They did it. They said they were there, because of mistakes made, went on longer, and maybe he regretted it after that sucker. But again, if he has the same, say, blue Carhartt jacket, has the guns, which, guns are a little bit, well, why did you give it away? Why did you sell it? But it just, has the same vehicle, same shoes, let's just say the same boots or hiker boots or shoes. So what do you guys make of that? Like, seriously, when you just look at it as almost as brazen as it all was in a sense, and yet
to me, I look at it as far as when you have someone that is miserable in their own life, and I'm not even if you take homicide off the table. I mean, when you're unhappy in life, everything begins to lose importance. You know, even stuff that does make you happy, or you do care about or love, it starts to lose its importance because you're unhappy. I mean, I can attest to that firsthand. But I think if you have something inside of you that already has an inclination towards the ability to be able to do what this man's done, and then you combine that with being in a place in your life where you are miserable, or you've lost any passion, or that you just aren't happy, I think that it opens a door for others.
Oh, one sec.
Thank you, Susan.
Susan Purdy.
Susan Purdy for chat, $5.
I believe that it opens a door for those things to come in and start to kind of spread like a cancer. And like, say you have a weird fantasy involving, physical relationships. That's the point in your life where those types of things can grow. And you start to let your private life, which has always been said, we all lead 3 lives: our public life, our private life, and our secret life. And all of us have them to different degrees, of course.
Yeah.
But I think that,
Absolutely.
the more unhappy you are in your public life and personal life, your secret life takes over. And I think that's what you get in this kind of a situation where Richard Allen let his secret life grow and grow to the point where he could not control it.
Well, thank you. 1 second. Susan, thank you very much for the $5 super chat, and thank you for becoming a member. I'm going to hit member and just follow exactly what it says, okay? So if you want to join that, you can either just stay a member and enjoy the perks of the emoticons that are out there and stuff like that, or you can join our private Facebook group as well. But you have to send me your YouTube name and your Facebook name to the address right there at A Criming Shame. Oh, I'm so bad for the banner thing. Sorry, guys. I always forget. But anyways, so make sure that you email at acrimingshame at gmail.com with your Facebook name and your YouTube name, okay? And that goes for anybody else that wants to become a member. It's $1.99 a month to at least become a Paw Patrol, have access to the private Facebook group, and you can use the emoticons. I'm going to be making some Christmas ones right soon. Yeah. But anyways, so what you gonna do? What you gonna
do when they come through?
Thank you for subscribing, Bashfro. Thank you. Lewis.
Yes.
What about the daughter? The daughter looks so much like Libby.
I think that's more people putting that together in their head. I don't think that it's that close a resemblance. You see her wearing the same type of shirt and stuff, you can put it together, but I really don't think it's that strong of a resemblance to. I don't see it.
I'm going to disagree on that one. I've seen both their pictures side by side, and I was like, ooh, but okay. So
maybe you've just seen a different picture than I have, but the ones I've seen, I didn't correlate a strong resemblance. But if you think, here's the problem that I've got in my head. I could see him being at a stage in life where he was maybe hating his wife for some reason, and this was a rage type thing where he took it out picturing his wife instead of them. I mean, they've been together since they were 19. But what makes me not think that is it seems too premeditated.
Right.
When he stood on the platform and he sat on the bench and he was there so much earlier, but not too far ahead. He let other people walk past him, other kids. That screams to me that this was a targeted event. He knew they were going to be specifically there at a certain time, and he was waiting for them, which then takes the whole rage thing out of the situation. It might play into later on, but I don't think that's the basis behind the crime. And I'd really like to know what the motive was for getting him there.
Right.
That's what I'm stuck on. I just can't put together a link
Would you
without
put that as one
involving
of your
another
three
person.
burning questions?
Yeah. I had my 3 questions when you asked earlier. But
Well, what would your 3 questions be?
my 3 questions?
Yeah.
I would like to know the motive behind getting them there. Not specifically behind the crime, but what was the motivation and why were they there? The second question is, if someone else is involved, why? And who put him up to this? Because I don't think he orchestrated this. If someone else is involved, I think someone else did. So I'd like to know who the other party or parties were that put this thing together. And then the third question is, what was his main thought for the last 5.5 years? Standing behind the counter, working at the store, seeing all these people that came in, family members, knowing it's connected? Or is he just in a completely different land and doesn't remember anything?
Yeah.
Well, I can answer that last one. He was thinking, is it 5 o'clock yet?
Yeah. So in chat,
is it 1:30 yet?
In chat, what would you guys? Well, just do one question though. What would your burning one question be if you could just ask one question, and your answer would be fulfilled right now? I definitely, for me, it would be motive. The motive. Why did Abby and Libby die that day is probably the ultimate question that I just simply want to know. Why? Who was all involved? That was a really good thought, Lewis, on about the exactly for 5.5 years, dude. You know, have you been shitting bricks? What has been going on in your head if you are guilty of this? But definitely who is all involved. I mean, on it, I think it's for the most part, it's going to be the same, meaning same thing that you said, Deb said. It just really all falls to me in the same categories. Like there's, you know, I mean, the why, you know, like why the staging of the crime scene? Why, you know, why? I don't know. There's probably more than 3 questions I got. Right. What made you choose? Deb says, what made you choose Abby and Libby?
Exactly.
Can we have a public stoning?
I would say my number one would be did you act alone or were there other people involved in this? Because to me, that would answer the motive question as well. My second question would be to law enforcement, and that would be, I want an explanation as to why you had the information that we're now being given 5.5 years ago. And, you know, what made it take this long? Was it that you were focused on Ron Logan? Was it the FBI? Was it a clerical error? You know, what made these families suffer for this long? And my third question would be, is this the only crime? Is this the only murder you've ever committed?
That's another good one. That other girl always pops up in my head.
Which one?
The other one that disappeared years, before.
Jordan.
Jordan. That always brings up questions.
She looked, and I mean, I know you don't believe, you don't see it, Lewis, but she also looked a lot like.
You guys, can you guys please stop attacking Quartz in chat that I'm seeing there? He didn't say anything that I saw. Like he said, Cody and Kelsey were messing with Libby, with Anthony Shot. Cody and Kelsey were messing with Libby with Anthony Shot's account.
No, they weren't. That is a 100% debunked rumor.
Yeah,
I can say that from someone that's been in the Anthony Shots account.
It's just that again, people are allowed to say certain things, but what we don't do in here, courts, is one thing we don't do is we don't attack the family and blame them for having part of the murders of Abby and Libby. That's one thing we don't do in here, because we firmly believe that the family had nothing to do with the actual murders of those girls. Retaliation might be a different story of that, but not that they were actually involved.
And I know that's a rumor that has been out there for a long time, so I'm sure that courts is probably just repeating that because they've seen that somewhere and thought it to be true. But like I said, I can say personally from someone that has been in the Anthony Shots account, Sonny can too, that I was given no indication that there was anything about Kelsey or Cody interfering with any of that.
Yeah. So let's see here. Just trying to
of course that's correct. Kelsey did contact Anthony Shots, but that's just because she contacted all of the recent all of the last contacts that I can't talk, Libby had. So
yeah, we know that Kelsey contacted. We know that Cody lived at some point a couple doors down from Rick Allen. But like I said, that's one of those things, is that whatever plays out. If it was simply just someone wanting their fantasies played out or whatever, or whether it was revenge motivated and stuff like that, who knows still. It just depends if you determine that there was just the one person, the lone wolf, or if you believe that there was more of them, that the men in black exist, or that the Kline is attached to this. And what a weird case every time. Every time I start thinking about this whole Richard Allen thing and just everything. Sonny, when was RA's house payoff? The murder timeline. What?
His house was paid in cash. His house was paid for cash. I do believe that they took a mortgage out on it later.
There was 2 mortgages later.
Yeah. But the house was originally, I believe, paid for in cash, which is why his adoptive father and mother, birth mother, adoptive father's names are on the deed.
Mm-hmm.
And AG, we won't know that until we know what brought him to the trails.
Yeah. Dave McCain. JT, what's doing, buddy?
Well, they're in my donations.
Hello, JT. Okay. I want to quickly show something that Zendaya put in our chat today. And okay, this is what kind of actually made me laugh, is that her and another person were having a discussion, and they're like, what does Lambo mean? And I'm like, and I started laughing because I knew that Lambo meant Lamborghini. And they thought, well, I don't know, maybe it's a nickname or something like that. So has anyone else seen this before? I'm just curious, because I don't recall
where it came from.
I don't recall seeing it. And it's showing, okay, I guess it's probably cut off the part where it's showing Anthony Shots account. I probably should have grabbed the picture that had that, but pretend up top there, it's showing Anthony Shots account, Liberty. Lambo is in the shop. Okay. Right. And okay. So Lambo. Silly, I'll be at the High Bridge around noon. I'm wearing a gray sweater. Thanks, JT. Has anyone themselves seen this before me showing it right now? Has anyone else ever seen this?
I have, yeah.
Pardon?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so you have seen this.
I have, but I believe it was. I believe when I saw it. Is there more? Is there more to it?
This is the only part that I saw. This is the only part that was put to the chat. I don't know where it's from. I think Zendaya, maybe you can ask. Libby text him at 8:04. Well, though, but okay. I guess it's the validity of it is what, because we know in the interview, it talks about the phone calls that were like, basically they're saying that there was somebody logging in and out, and it was around the 8:07 area or something like that.
This would have been a Snapchat, I believe, right?
This one?
That message there? It's either Facebook Messenger or Snapchat.
I know, it looks like a messenger.
It looks like Facebook.
It looks like a Facebook Messenger, but I'm trying to think of I'm just trying to think 2017 or 2016 in my mind.
But they weren't really talking on Messenger.
They weren't. That's the thing, yeah. There was, because we don't know of an Anthony Shots Facebook account.
So
and you think that would have been come out, So that's why I think this is when Instagram first released their like instant message, like their direct messaging thing. It does look like Messenger.
Absolutely looks like Messenger. To a phone. It's been on the internet discussions in the beginning of the case.
I just wish I could see that. Of course, everything is always cut off to the point where
hold on. Let me go. Give me a second and let me go
it's not
back.
Your fault. No, I think it's part of the course. Anytime you see stuff like this, you're like, oh, but you're like, why is it cropped to the point that it is?
Well, no, but it wasn't.
You notice what's odd on that screen?
I couldn't hear you. This what?
I see. You notice what's odd on that screenshot? That it's using Wi-Fi. It's not using data. Top right corner.
Well, not if you look at the time. I mean, because she would have still been home if that's AM.
No, I'm saying that they're not using a phone that's active. They're using Wi-Fi.
Well, no, I mean, like if you look at my phone right now, it's just Wi-Fi. Oh, you mean there's no cell phone, like it bars next to
it? If you look and you see in the top right corner the thing that looks like the sun.
So it's a Wi-Fi only thing.
The Wi-Fi symbol. That means that's connected to a Wi-Fi source. It's not connected to internet.
So it's a Wi-Fi only source. Like, so it's like, like an iPad, like an iPod Nano.
Or an older phone that's not on network, or they're using Wi-Fi for some other reason. But that device that is in the picture is using Wi-Fi.
Or a tab. But but it's funny because it says AT&T.
Yeah.
So it's odd if it doesn't have cellular device. If it doesn't have cellular service.
Yeah.
That to me looks like a phone that like they haven't paid their bill and they got it cut off.
Or they're using Wi-Fi at another location, so it gives an IP address.
Well, something's not making sense here anyway. As I look at, okay, where did the other
be a fake message? Because I don't think she was wearing a gray sweater to begin with.
Well, no, she was. Abby was.
The gray windbreaker or jacket.
Okay, but something's kind of not making sense to me anyway as I'm looking at these. So if I have this one right here where it says 804 Liberty, Lambo. So did somebody flip a switch and then, because let's see, because now it's in blue.
Wait, so the other one again real quick.
Well, if you look at this one, it's in gray and then blue here, Liberty's phone.
Think both sides of the conversation then.
Right. And so then it's showing it from Anthony Schott's phone there.
Yeah.
Now, but still.
Because the Anthony Shots we're looking at, the blue would be like Anthony Schott. That would be like someone screenshot Anthony Shots thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the case. So that's fake.
So
Deb was right.
That doesn't make sense to me because it's like, so I can see Liberty's phone, but Anthony Schott's phone that we have the conversation.
And there's no emojis, so we know it's not Kagan Kline because he puts an emoji in. He puts an emoji in every single text he sends.
Can you make this one bigger?
Which one?
This one that's up there. No, No, the other one. Yeah, that one. No, the one that says Anthony Shots on top, not the Liberty one.
Silly. I'll be on the high bridge around noon. Nor was she wearing that gray sweater yet then. Remember, Kelsey made her get it out at the last minute anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's clearly fake.
So
yeah, it doesn't look right.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
Like I said, we know Kelsey made her get the jacket at the last minute.
That looks like one of those text generator apps like you see when they do things on videos.
Yeah.
Where they make up the two sides. That's what this looks like.
Right. And like Deb said, there's no Wi-Fi symbol on that one.
I'm just going to get rid of them because I deem them as going to the trash pile myself for those. Well, and because I never overly looked at them, and then it reminded me of that, and then I'm like, when something just doesn't feel right, and you're not positive, but it just doesn't feel like it was right, and that's how I felt as soon as I saw it. I was like, wait, I've never seen this before, and if it's been, why wouldn't that have been played out way more times than what I've seen it? And I haven't seen it up until today, and about 12 o'clock at the bridge, and. I don't know.
I have to use the restroom really quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so let's just quickly go. CD says, Tara, it is definitely more fitting for someone to be handed the firearm and racket just to create fear when you own a handgun and it's hot with a round in the chamber. As you know, the owner. Chamber, right, as the owner, okay. Carol Dean Johnson, if it's legit, just saying it like she doesn't care. She's not impressed by fancy cars. Still very iffy if legit. Okay. It's not real. I'm not gonna deem that as real. It's fake. Quartz. Alexa, allegedly Libby was meeting a catfish bottom feeder when someone knew Libby was communicating with the catfish. Well, I mean, Max Snowber said that she was going there to like meet a 19-year-old. So, which
the reason I think that's fake is because they've got the wrong person saying silly.
They got the what?
The wrong person saying silly. That was something that Keegan Kline used a lot, and they've got that on the opposite part of the conversation.
Yeah. Okay, right.
So I think somebody tried to create it using that because that was his catchphrase.
Well, that's what
always saying silly.
That's what I thought was strange about that was because Keegan Kline would use the word silly.
Yeah.
And
it's on the wrong part of the combo.
I don't know. Just I'm gonna put that, like I said, to the trash. Not even entertain it, to be honest with you. If it ever comes out to fruition that was ever done, then so be it. But to me, it just doesn't seem legit.
Unverified.
Yeah, unverified. A TOT, take out the trash. Let's see. Jumping Jack. Belinda, where did you see that? What did Belinda say? I'm not sure what Belinda said. All right. CD says, I'm curious since Ari's arrest if they will come up with DNA from the girl's items taken from his house. Yeah. I'm kind of doubtful Ari's DNA was found, but never know. I'm curious about that too. Kelsey had a gray sweatshirt on, Kelsey had a gray sweatshirt on in the vehicle, I believe, and I don't know if it was that day though, but she had a gray sweatshirt on, and she offered up that for Abby, I believe. Okay, I want to go back to the document here. So what was the last? Okay, Rick's Cows always said that, although it would be burned up. Yeah, okay, so we're going to the last page here. Okay, so although it would be the burden, the defense team looks forward to conducting its own investigation concerning Rick's innocence. We appreciate those that have reached out to support his cause. The prosecutor mentioned at the last hearing his beliefs that others may have been involved in the killing, yet there's no motion in the PCA about the second suspect involved in the killing. The defense is confused by such discrepancies in the investigation and will be in better position to respond as more discovery is received. Rick Allen owned a Ford Focus in February of 2017. His Ford Focus is not in any way similar to the distinctive look of a PT Cruiser or a smart car that was described by witnesses. It seems that the CCSD is trying to bend facts to fit their narrative. At this point in time, we have received very limited information about this case and look forward to having something more to view than that which was offered up in the sparse PCA. Moving forward, it is our intent to scrutinize the discovery as it is received and give the necessary attention to the volumes of tips that we are receiving. To the extent we continue to discover information that points to Rick's innocence, we will offer up information to the public so long as we are not prohibited from doing so as a result of the recent request from the prosecutor for a gag order by the Indiana rules of the professional conduct. Okay. Thoughts there, Lewis? Or go ahead, Adam.
Oh, no, I'm just listening. I was just reading along with you and listening.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, you got any thoughts on that part? I mean,
kind of boring.
Yeah, Lewis, do you have any thoughts on that part of it? I mean,
yeah, I don't want there to be issues at trial if it comes up that they put this gag order into effect a month before they get discovery at the hearing for the bail hearing. And then you wind up with problems where they're going to say his case was already tried in the public because you allowed all the stuff from the prosecution out, but nothing from the defense. I just think it's very odd that they're putting a gag order on everybody. That it just doesn't sit right with me.
Wait, I was gonna. That's not including media, was it? I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Was it including media? Oh,
that's what doesn't seem right, because the media fights for the public, not for the defense or the prosecution.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they can't stop the public. They can't stop the media from discussing the case. They just can't. They can try to stop anyone from talking to the media about the case.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you gag everybody else involved, then the media has no information. So you're basically gagging the media if you can't give them anything. And if they release anything that's accurate, then you know there was a leak, and then you have a mistrial.
Glad I didn't give any sources.
Hey, they had a mistrial for that 70s show guy today.
Oh, I know. I saw that. I didn't read the reasoning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Basically, the jury side, it doesn't matter how long you give them, they're not going to agree. So they had to deem it as a mistrial for now. Yeah.
Hung jury?
Yeah. That no matter how long they spent in that room, they wouldn't be able to. That no matter how long they spent in the room, that they wouldn't be able to come to any sort of agreement whatsoever. So it was deemed as a mistrial. Yeah. And so, and his was for, I believe, 3 charges in our
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
For a forcible RAP. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So going back to chat. Hey, Lewis. It's so funny because all I see is your lights, and then all of a sudden this big shadow comes into it.
Did we lose me?
No. But because it's like a backdrop green screen type of thing, all of a sudden your shadow came into the picture.
Oh, so I'm not showing up?
No, you're not. Come forward more. No, all I'm seeing. Yeah, there you are. Hi. Oh, I was looking. I thought you were purposely doing it though.
No. When I came back from next door, I forgot to turn the overhead light on. I didn't realize it was not picking up the backlight.
Okay. You know what, you guys? We'll turn this over to the audience here, basically, everyone that's in chat. Okay, let's go to the audience in chat, and let's take some questions that you guys have going on there. And yeah, we're at the 2-hour and 35-minute mark. Oh, and if you guys could please hit like, could you be in the Christmas spirit today and hit a like? Or I'm just gonna ask, could you guys hit a like? You don't need Christmas to do that, but I love Christmas, and I love the fact that it's December 1st already. And I love the fact that I put a little Christmas tree too, the little there's two Stephanies, but Stephanie, Steph and Stephanie, but Stephanie always sends me, like, she changes up the emotes all the time. And so anyways, Christmas tree. So I put one so that we do Christmas tree, instead of our whale that's in the group chat. Now it's a Christmas tree. Anyways, if you guys could do that. And don't forget, you guys, when I drop the bio link as well, that can take you over to follow us on the Twitter, the Instagram, Facebook. It can take you over to the merch site, and it can take you over to the memes page. Just check it out. If you need, tomorrow night's live. Don't forget, tomorrow night's live is the donation night for Blaine's 3 children for Christmas time. So if any of you guys have the time to stop by, maybe buy a coffee from the coffee app, or send it through PayPal. Again, in the first week of towards the end of the first week, somewhere in there, December, then we'll send Andrew Bess the money for the children, and he's going to take them shopping for Christmas, so that they can have a Christmas. And if anyone doesn't know who Blaine is, Blaine was one of those ones that was from the opposite side of the tracks, and yet, we came together. He was actually trying to make a difference, but sadly, Blaine was a recovering addict for a long time, and then Ashley had went into rehab, and I don't know, he changed. We saw the change at about a month prior to him overdosing, but Blaine was the supporter of his family. And so it's for the 3 children of Blaine's, that in honor of Blaine, and for the 3 children, so that, whatever you can do, let me just put it that way. So be greatly appreciated if you can stop by tomorrow, even if it's just to buy a coffee out of the coffee app for them. It just adds up, and give them a nice little Christmas. And again, prayers to Blaine's family and the children, and Ashley, and we miss you, Blaine. I really do miss going, hey, Blaine, want to come do a live? He was just like you, Lewis, too. Hey, Blaine, want to come do a live? And he'd be like, sure. But anyways, that's who Blaine was. He was part of the, I think he was a lieutenant from the Kokomo crew, retired, I believe he said. And he just a big red bearded guy. And yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, so that's tomorrow night. And so when I do drop the bio, that's what that means. Adam, can you just quickly see, has anyone spoken to Paige? You know what? Actually, I haven't actually talked to Paige in a couple of weeks. Have you, Adam?
No, I've not actually.
Our bad, because Paige has been really busy, and I've been busy, and only because you're saying that right now, you're reminding me I should probably check in and see how Paige is doing. Paige is doing good for the most part. And as well, 1 second here. 1 second as well. Okay. And although we haven't started it yet, and I really need to add this to the bio link, and I meant to do that today, and I totally forgot. Lewis and myself have started up a different channel as well. So I'm going to drop the link. It's called Just Ask Us channel. And it's basically a channel that is about asking whatever. It's not about Delphi and stuff like that. It's if somebody wants to say, how do I fix my toilet? Well, my husband can tell you exactly how to fix your toilet. My husband himself would be a great guest, because my husband is a wealth of information when it comes to sites, because we all know that there's a lot of single ladies out there that might not know how to do something. But anyways, it's about, whether it's about relationship questions, whether it's about tech questions, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be a channel that's just about questions, and whether, I think Adam dropped there, so if Alexa comes on and wants to talk about her stuff, or, somebody else makes a great guest that wants to come on because they have, again, it's going to be about anything. If you guys want to ask me about how to create a video, where do you even start from? How do you even do it? And stuff like that. It's just anything like that. I think media excluded the gag order. I think media excluded. Yeah, well, there he is. Welcome back. So let me just read that again. It says official court cornered family members and information from relating court. Oh, yeah, well, I don't see where it's talking about media here. It says prohibiting.
No.
What?
Yeah, the point with media, though, is if everyone else is gagged, the media has no source of information.
Yeah, right.
By naming every other party involved with the information, you're technically removing them from getting any information from any source.
Yeah. The other aspect of it that it provides is that it gives the family the ability to not have to speak or be hounded until the time comes that there's a trial or more hearings, because I'm sure that they are being inundated with requests for interviews. I think most people know I was going to an event on the 16th of December being hosted by Kelsey German that's been postponed. And they even specifically mentioned in there that, even without the ruling of the gag order, that they felt it was best to postpone it, which I support. I just wish I hadn't bought my plane ticket the day before. But they will, they'll reschedule it for, I assume, a day much further in the future. So.
And just quickly, Joe Johnson, of course you can be a guest when we open up that channel. We will let you know. Me and Lewis will let you know when we do our first live for that. Okay. Right now we're just promoting it just to get the subscribers up there. And then when we are ready, then absolutely. Then you can just send an email saying you'd like to be a guest, and we'll probably just do it like once or twice a week. For like an hour max type of idea, questions, answers. And so, but we'll let you know exactly when we are. But at the moment, just drop in the link for it, you guys. So please go subscribe to that. And that one will be a really great channel in the sense of it will just be about whatever. It will be about anything. If you wanted just to come be a part of a family and sit there and you want to ask questions about anything or whatever, then nothing's really off topic, besides keep it, clean to a point.
Are the rumors true?
What?
Are the rumors true?
What rumors?
That we're going to have a phone a friend option, and either Alexa or Steffa get a phone call if we can't answer it?
Say it. Wait, what?
Wait, what about me? I mean,
of course, Adam.
I give the best. I give good advice.
Well, from chat,
I see what you're saying.
Request.
I get it. Oh, the 1-900 number for Alexa, that one? Yeah. Okay. Adam, what did you tell me about our trip? Oh,
Steffa, you didn't get the email? Steffa, they postponed. Yeah, they postponed. They had postponed the date, the event on the 16th. You should have gotten an email.
Yeah. And
in the email, there's an option for you to get a refund if you want. I chose not to, just because I feel like I'll just leave my tickets for when it gets rescheduled, even if it's a year from now. But
yep, sorry. And Jane, just so you know, so hold on, I'm sorry, but these people have stolen my heart when they're talking about Dear Abby. Dear Abby, I would read every day on the C train to work when I lived in Calgary, and Ann Landers is actually Dear Abby's sister.
Yeah.
They were two columnists, but yeah,
and they didn't get along.
I know, right? But yeah, so Dear Abby, you guys always remember this. I don't remember the whole one, and it's really hard to find, and I believe I found it once. But I used to work in cosmetics back in the day of when Eaton's was around, and I worked with 26 females in cosmetics. And as much as I grew to love most of them, it's not exactly always the nicest place to work because you're dealing with your regular pay and commission, and the rich get richer, and people that don't walk over people like myself, usually fall to the wayside more so than the greedy ones. But anyways, it causes lots of conflicts, and I'm not a person that likes to. I can deal with conflict. I just don't like that in a workplace environment. I don't like it when you have to feel like you have to, walk on people, or it's just doesn't create for a good environment. But anyways, yeah. So dear Abby, I remember I was sitting up in the restaurant of Eaton's. I worked at the downtown store, and I remember the beginning of it, and it was somebody said trouble was caused, suspicion fed, all because somebody was indiscreet. Somebody heard something, and somebody to repeat or something like that. It was something just like that, and I always held that dear to my heart when it came to. That's exactly how drama always starts. So I'm always a big believer is that if somebody has an issue with me, why don't you come ask me if I said it? Because I will let you know. Instead of people like, it doesn't matter about,
Go around.
I'm just right. So instead of it exactly being like this, so it just, somebody said that somebody says drama. I'm not into that type of drama. I don't play those little kid games and stuff like that. Somebody has a beef with me or whatever, just come ask me. It's kind of like when I worked in cosmetics. You guys in the bath.
Right.
Yeah, it will be a great channel, Joe.
Joe Johnson super chat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
What does it always turn into?
Hey, yeah.
What does it always turn into?
Mm-hmm.
Who's got the bigger?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I've never been into game playing and stuff like that. I remember my husband said to me, I said, what's the one thing you really like about me? And he goes, you don't play head games and stuff like that. And I don't. I don't like to play those type of things, and I don't like drama, but just try to remember that, it was Dear Abby. There was somebody said trouble was caused, suspicion fed, and that's exactly how it always starts out. Somebody said that somebody said, and it just stuck with me. So love Dear Abby. And so at one point I said to myself, one day I'm going to start a channel called Dear Sunny, because I really do love talking with people. I love helping people. If I can offer anything that can help someone, I don't even care if it's about frickin' painting. It doesn't matter. I love to talk with people. If somebody has something that I can offer an advice or something from my own experiences, I will. Just like in return, I appreciate what other people have to offer. Lewis here has tons of, not to say he thinks he's always right, because he doesn't, but he has a lot of, he's like my husband. He has a plethora of different knowledge. My husband is 32 years old, and I admire him so much for the knowledge that he has. My husband can fix your sink. He can fix your computer. My husband can literally do everything, and I know Lewis reminds me of that same mentality. Got a problem? Yeah, no problem. I can help you fix. Now, Adam here, if you guys want a good buzz cut, you guys want to know certain things, maybe, Adam's getting great on the slaw stuff too now. But, Adam, I suppose we can let you be a guest, because you probably have like some magical remedies and stuff like that as well. I don't know. I'll discuss it with Lewis, and I'll get back.
I can fix anything as long as it's not my own problem.
Yeah. Adam's like me that way. We're both cancers. We both like helping people. We both, like I said, we speak from our hearts and stuff like that. And anyways, at the end of the day, I just love things like that. And that's why I decided I was going to do a Dear Abby. But then, I thought, oh, well, when I was talking to Lewis one day, I was like, hey, Lewis, you want to join me on this channel? Because I know that a lot of people in the chat here have asked and said, hey, Lewis, you guys should just ask Lewis hour or this and that. And that's kind of what prompted me to go, hey, Lewis, because I thought, I can talk about certain things, but I couldn't tell you anything about plumber's butt and stuff like that. Well, no, I can tell you about that one. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just thought it would be good. And then we can have guests on too, that can talk about, right, like I said, like let's say Joe there, like you said, he has a plethora of information. again, it's just a space where people can ask a whole bunch of different questions, and I think it's a good thing. So, anyways, that will be the channel. It's called Just Ask Us, Lewis and Sunny. I even put Lewis's name ahead of mine. See, no ego, no ego. I was trying to think of what rolled off the tongue the best, Sunny and Lewis or Lewis and Sunny. I felt Lewis and Sunny.
Yeah, Lewis and Sunny sounds better.
Yeah. See, yeah, than Sunny and Lewis. It sounded better, Lewis and Sunny, I thought.
Right.
But anyways, so anyway, was there any questions I missed? Anyways, thank you guys for that. And that's the channel, Just Ask Us channel, okay? And we'll let you know again when we have that one up and going. And thanks again, Lewis, for the super chat there. Thanks everyone actually for the super chats tonight. Thank you for being very generous with that tonight into the channel. Appreciate that. Appreciate the people that are subscribing as well, and the people that continuously follow us. And love us or hate us, here we are if you do. And again, we just like to keep it real, keep it hopefully a little bit fun sometimes as well. Okay.
Sprinkles. Oh.
What is sprinkles? What?
Daisy said, I just accidentally typed Aspen Sprinkles on G.
She changed her name. Daisy? Did you get?
Maybe that was my my working name when I was a dancer.
Yeah, different. Yeah. Okay. Joe says, I was at the Memorial Park on May of 21. May of 21. Okay. After the walk, some of us went to the cemetery. There was a purple PT Cruiser stalking us. When we approached it, it sped away. Dark tinted windows. Huh.
Wow.
Huh. Right? I mean,
right.
How often do you see purple PT Cruisers? And then
really, what year was that?
21. Last year.
Joe, Joe, will you email me at truecrimeaspen@gmail.com? Because I have someone that I would like to discuss what you're saying with that person. So please email me.
Mm-hmm. Adam could be your tour guide to anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. Could. Would. Probably won't. Yeah, exactly, Joe. Wow, that's a little bit crazy. I think Alan replaced his jacket and pants for when this day came. Police don't have what he wore that day. Probably the jeans, not.
I hope not.
Some people do wear their jeans for 10 years, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can just, I know we kind of keep beating down the PC and stuff like that with the hopes that that's like their weakest stuff and that they truly do have some solid, evidence that's to be shown. Let's keep the faith for that, for Abby and Libby's sake, because in no way do we want the person or people responsible to ever walk away from Abby and Libby's deaths. Yeah, too many daisies. That's true, actually, Daisy. It's true. There's a couple times I was getting confused going, is that Daisy? Yeah, support with Steph is sure. Not sure what you guys are talking about there. You guys cheating on me? I think you guys cheating on me with each other. Lexi? Alexa, she says, you got Lewis, I can have Stefan. I already have Adam. I was at the walk, but didn't make it to the cemetery. Hey, jumping jack. Joe, the cemetery by the trails. 4 to 6 weeks for DNA, right? Should be back soon. Yes. How far back do police records go back and autopsies go back? I'm looking for an accident that my uncle had back. Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Well, Steph, is that in Ohio? Because You might have to contact the county clerk's office for that, because that could be archival and definitely paper form.
Or microfiche.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you know the date, Steffa, I would actually contact the public library and see if you can pull the microfiche for the newspapers for that week.
Well, she said, but she was saying police report. So,
Yeah, I mean, just if she's trying to get more information, there might be stuff listed in there like they do death reports and all that. If she doesn't know what coroner's office it went to or what, where things were done, sometimes back then a lot of the newspapers revealed information they don't now.
Adam, I really should add your name into the OBS there for both of our emails to come up. But Joe is asking what your email is again, please.
Oh, I'll put it in the chat. It's truecrimeaspen@gmail.com.
Okay.
So hopefully no one from Aspen, Colorado ever wants to start a true crime channel because I've taken the name. Or at least the email.
Okay, let's see here. I'm just going to
edit
edit
the link for my channel as well. And okay, that is in the chat now. Oh, and I'll give a little tidbit. I'll give a little. I'm not going to go into it tonight because we've been on for 3 hours. But Sunday night, I have some interesting information to drop because we're doing our thing for Blaine's kids tomorrow night. So Sunday night, I do have some interesting new juicy things that a new person that I've been speaking to. Well, not a new person I've been speaking to, but someone has been in contact with our favorite person with the initials KK. And
I wonder who that is.
Let's just say I will have to be very careful in how I deliver the information without the stream getting rated X.
Oh.
I wasn't sure whether I wanted to laugh or throw up throughout reading all 9-10 pages of these back and forths. And
Alexa, what did I tell you? Stop it. Just stop.
I mean, it'd be like, a pertinent question being asked that could lead to something, being furthering this case, to which the response would be something your grandma would
roll in the grave.
Yeah, I mean, your grandma wouldn't even know the terminology of. I was like, do I own pearls? Because I feel like I need to go get some so that I can clutch them as I read this. That was my exact response to what I was reading. So Sunday night.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
I'll deliver some goods.
Yeah.
But not the goods that he was promising.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, Adam keeps me in the dark sometimes too.
No, this just all happened tonight. You know that, Sonny.
So it's a good bed read for tonight.
No,
yeah. Oh, don't worry. I'll just read it with my husband. Yeah. See. Which sounds quite disgusting. I'll be there. Okay. So yeah, let's get ready to pop off, guys. We're at the 3-hour mark, basically.
Don't say pop off.
They're having all night poker game Sunday. Oh, balance? I guess you could play poker and watch at the same time. Alexa, any thoughts on obtaining his autopsy? Not at all.
Yeah. Wish list number 1.
I guess, yeah. Couldn't you just call somewhere and ask them? Like, can't you? Isn't there just a phone number that you could find, look up, and ask?
Yeah.
And get them to direct you in the right way? I would think.
and they would say, "We've asked you, sir. Please stop calling." I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I've never called them.
I'll have the holy water ready. So would you? I have a pearl necklace. Yeah.
I don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, my sister's got it.
Oops. Okay, guys. I'm going to drop a couple links one more time. I'll put the Just Ask Us channel in the description of this video. In fact, I'm just going to do that right now before I forget, actually.
I guess I'll drop mine too.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys.
I'm like, no one subscribed to my channel. Or don't.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to post videos?
Yeah. Can you guys go subscribe to Adam's channel as well? Can you do that? Did you drop your channel, Adam?
I've got to find it.
Oh, do you want me to find it first?
No, I got it.
You got it? Aspen Corner. There he is.
Sonny and Lewis, their channel's going to get so huge, they're going to be like, "Who's Adam?" And then I'm going to be like,
no, that's what we say right now anyway. Who's Adam?
It's fair. Yeah. That's a fair statement.
No.
The question is, where's Adam?
Darn it, Adam. Look at I was right behind you.
Been asking that my whole life.
I'll stick Adam's channel as well. I really got to add that stuff to the bio link. I promise I'll do it after the live Joe. Today. That I'll add it. I'll add it into the description of this video. Okay, Sonny Lewis channel there, and then Aspen channel. Aspen Connor Matters. There we go. Save. Okay, so that's in the description of this video after that. And again, check out the bio link. Okay, Christmas is coming soon. If you guys want to check out the bio link, look at all the different Christmas things and different things, whatever. And with that being said, I am a new subscriber, expected to be a special expert on your guest show. Thank you. Absolutely support with stuff. Like I said, this will be an ongoing thing, right? So, like I said, if there's other people on here that, I don't care if they practice in law, that they're, like I said, a nurse or whichever, right? It just all makes for good topics because there's a lot of people that like to know certain things. Anyways, I love stuff like that.
Yeah,
a place that you can go and you can ask a question in a sense. If you don't know, ask a question, and if not, then you can email a question or something like that sometimes, and it can be, read on the live as well for the answer. Yeah, it would be like a whole big Dear Abby and Landers, but hey, do you want to? I'm going to be Dear Abby, so you can be Landers, right, Lewis?
Sure.
You look like
Landers. And Alexa and Steph are going to be the phone friend, so we can just
phone
a friend, and either one of them gets our call. Yeah,
absolutely.
I thought Lewis was Dr. Ruth.
There we go. Yeah, so again, if you guys could do that, that's great. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the live tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night. It will be Blaine's. I need to go get that ready as well. I need to pull that together. So yeah, lots of things I probably could. Well, no, I did lots today, guys. Sometimes I'm good at doing last minute stuff fast when I need
you were on that one thing. What was the first thing that I was like, as soon as we discussed it, you had a video out?
Honestly, I could have been on that so much sooner. I seen it a lot sooner. I just decided to get out of bed at that particular point and go, I guess I should put a video out for this. And I honestly, I was on it, right? Deb knows. I was just like, boom, But thing was, I could have actually had it out sooner. But anyways, you guys, it was just a matter of see, my bed behind me to the computer is at least not even 3 feet away, 2 feet max. So the energy. Actually, can I tell you, like this morning, I was looking at my iPad this morning and I was going along fine. My husband was getting up for work. And all of a sudden, I felt so nauseous and sick. He told me he was not feeling well because my husband from the other guy at work is getting a cold, blah, blah, blah. So my husband's got the sniffles, cold. Anyways, it just hit me. Like, it just hit me so bad. And I just felt so nauseous. Like, I was just like, I even called husband. I was like, can you come back home? Because, like, I'm literally feeling really like just horrible right now. So I took some Benylin, went to sleep, and then I woke up totally forgetting. And it was only because my husband called me at some point and said, "Why aren't you answering?" Because he called me literally on Messenger, and he's like, "Why aren't you answering your phone?" Didn't even hear it, heard nothing. I was out like a light. But then when I woke up, I kind of forgot I was even ill. It just happens sometimes. I don't know why, but sometimes this nauseous feeling just comes over me, and it's like it won't go away, and then I fall asleep. I'm just saying. Not like you guys needed to know that, but so that's why I didn't get out of bed so fast.
That Benylin must be magic.
The Benylin is magic. It's magic. It's better than the magic bullet. I swear.
And any of us that were watching the one night, we can attest to the fact that Sonny's bed is close enough that even if you're getting up from the other side of the bed, you can see every crack there is.
Okay. Now, I'm just getting a request coming in from Lynn. If she's
funny.
You know what? I heard it, and I should probably laugh, but hold on. But a delayed laugh isn't the same because a message was coming at the same time.
The moment's gone.
Yeah. So sorry. So sorry. Louis, did you at least laugh for it? No. Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I'm laughing up here.
Oh, okay. So let me just, you guys just bear with me for a moment because I'm being asked to show this on the live for, oh, what a gorgeous little darling. My goodness. Okay. Have you guys heard of Athena Presley Monroe Strand? Oh, there's a name. Oh, you guys, let's take a look here. Okay. So this girl is missing. And yeah, oh, so darn cute. Oh my goodness. Okay. So oh, look at this little beautiful angel. So Athena Presley Monroe Strand, age 7, 4 feet tall, 62 pounds, dirty blonde hair, blue eyes. Athena Presley Monroe Strand was last seen on November 30th of 2022, around 5:30 p.m. off of Oh my God. Okay. Oh my, the shivers are going through me right now. Because that was like legit yesterday, and really she's not been found yet.
Will you send that me, Sonny?
Pardon?
Will you send that to us?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just do that really quick. Thank you, Lynn. Let me just quickly forward it. And Adam, can you put it in our yeah. Let's see, give it to you guys there as well. Okay. So sorry, Louis, I forgot to send it to you. But I was clicking the top people of my list there, but then I was like, after I closed off, I was like, oh, I can send it to you in a bit. I'll put it in your
when you
posting.
get a chance to send it over.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Oh, with this beautiful little girl.
Well organized. They already have a link on. Was that? I think I saw Twitter, Facebook.
Okay, well, yeah, there's
Instagram.
Facebook,
Instagram,
wow. TikTok, Twitter. Again,
that's well organized already.
Yeah, she was said to be wearing blue jeans with flower embroidered around the front pockets, with a gray black long sleeve shirt, light brown boots, maybe a flannel over her. The police are looking at this case as an act of a crime. If you have any information, please contact Weiss or Wise. I'm not sure how you say it, Weiss or Wise County Sheriff's Department, 940-627-5971 or call 911. Okay, let's take a look at this beautiful girl.
I wonder if there's an Amber Alert, which you're gonna get, have a vehicle. But wow.
So you guys, again, if you guys are members, put it into all your social media. Adam will stick it into our members group as well. I'm sure all you guys have to do. Well, because I don't have a link for it, but just Google it. Athena, take a. I don't care if you guys want to take maybe a screenshot even of this on your platform.
We could add it to our community page as well, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, you know what? Well, yeah, I could add it to the community page, but you still have to be a member.
Right? They did issue an Amber Alert earlier today.
Okay, so there was a vehicle involved. Okay, good to know.
Oh, look at that precious thing.
I'm wondering if it was a. I mean, I'm just curious if if it was a parental thing, or
right? That's what I was just thinking. I knew you were going to say that. She's
I'm not. I
with us?
think I'm on the mother's Facebook page because she refers to it as her baby. But 4 hours ago, she said we're close to the 24-hour point, and an Amber Alert was issued earlier today. Please don't give up on my baby. She wouldn't have just walked away on her own. So they don't mention a family member being involved or even knowing who's involved.
right?
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong. For an Amber Alert to be issued, doesn't there have to be a vehicle?
I don't think so. I think it just has to be a confirmed abduction or that they're in danger. There has to be a danger aspect to it. But
I always thought that was part of the thing with Abby and Libby was, when they were criticized for not issuing an Amber Alert, it was explained that it's because there was not a vehicle involved.
I thought it was because they couldn't confirm that there was anyone else involved. There was an abduction. It had to be not just missing or lost, but I could be wrong on that.
Oh, I just went blurry.
Yeah. Either way, let's help find this baby.
Such a
It
gorgeous.
says she was last seen at her dad's house at 5:30 p.m. And he lives in Paradise, Texas. It gives his address on here too.
Okay, so last seen at her dad's house?
Yeah.
So they are divorced.
Last seen at the father's house in Paradise, Texas at 5:30 p.m. on 11:30. She's been missing for when they posted this, it was a 5-hour mark, but and they put up a phone number to contact them if there's any info too, but they're not really giving much info.
I just, oh my goodness, the mother, you just know what anyone's thinking right now. When their child is like missing, then it's not normal.
Yep. The 5 requirements for an Amber Alert are the reasonable belief by law enforcement that an abduction has occurred. The law enforcement agency believes the child is in imminent danger or serious bodily injury or death. There is enough descriptive information about the victim and the abduction for law enforcement to issue the Amber Alert to assist in the recovery of the child. The abduction of the child is age 17 years or younger. The child's name and other critical data, including the child abduction flag, have been entered into the National Crime Information Center system. So those are the only requirements. There was nothing about a vehicle in there yet.
It looks like there's 2 kids, a sister, so just one disappeared. And it's hard to tell if they're about the same age or not. They look close.
I put it on our Facebook group. I'm going to share it to my Instagram and Twitter, and hopefully everyone else will as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi.
And I'll put it on my Instagram right now. So if anyone follows my Instagram, I'm at Aspen Connor, and you can get the picture right off my Instagram.
What did you just send me there, Lewis?
I sent you a picture of the 2 kids together, and I'm going to send you the link to the mom's Facebook page because that seems to have the most up-to-date info.
Oh, what a gorgeous picture.
Is there a hashtag on there anywhere?
I didn't notice one.
No, I don't see a hashtag.
What's there?
Okay, so I think that's the mother's page I sent to you, and that seemed to have the most up-to-date posts.
Okay, so we'll bring that
Looks
in.
like she's a nurse.
Okay. That's the link I'm just dropping there for that. So precious, so precious. But that other picture you sent looked like a really old picture.
Yeah, that was on her feed, so I sent that. Was the only one showing the 2 together, other than one in a car seat. But
it's just the one missing, though, right, Athena?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I sent that so you could see that, though, just for you to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That picture was posted October 27th, but I don't know how old
What?
it is.
Oh, okay, that one. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, put me first.
Okay.
Oh, there. It seems like the tagline is "Put me first."
Oh, is it?
That's what it's list. That's what's listed all over the flyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put me first. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So just put it to your social media, everyone.
Right, and like I said, it's on my Instagram now, which is at Aspen Connor. If you want, you can just take it right off my Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna call it a night. You guys take care. Again, we'll see you tomorrow night. For Blaine's Children's Christmas. Again, if you can join us, that would be great. Other than that, thank you everyone for joining us again tonight. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the subscribers, and thank you everyone for coming to join us. Oops, I guess I should.
Are you going to show us your face, Sonny?
No, I totally forgot. I thought I was literally on as I was saying that.
I've done that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna. I'll quickly. What's this? Okay, I'll just drop an article that. Okay. I'll just do this one here. I'll just drop the a link to the news. There we go.
Yeah.
You guys can watch that as well. Okay, guys.
And if for anyone that is around tomorrow, 11:30 a.m., come hang CDI.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, guys. So you guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. And again, Aspen will be on CDs Live at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Good night, Alexa. Good night, support staff.
Liz, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. You guys have a good night too.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.